As a hate crime, the attack left 2 children dead, 17 people wounded. The 23-year-old gunman died of an apparently self-inflicted gunshot wound. The U.S. economy rebounded 3.3% growth April through June, an upgrade of the government's initial estimate. And applications for unemployment benefits fell last week compared to the week before. Florida Atlantic University economist Dr. William Luther says when it comes to jobs, not all are created equal.
A lot of these folks who are in these jobs that aren't very productive are in them because they have been put in them by folks who want to perpetuate a very large government, a very meddlesome government, a government that actually discourages real production, genuine production, production that takes place in the private sector.
Dr. Luther on the Salem News Channel. When it comes to trade deals with China, economist Steve Moore suggests it's folly to expect fairness and transparency from Beijing.
I do not trust the Chinese government. They're communists. They want to take over the world. And so we have to be really, really careful about any agreement with China.
The former Trump economic advisor speaking with the Salem Radio Network. The director of the nation's top public health agency has been terminated.
After only 4 weeks on the job, the head of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has been removed. The White House spokesman said Susan Menarez isn't aligned with President Trump's agenda. Her lawyers issued a statement saying Menarez chose protecting the public over serving a political agenda and that she has been targeted. Following her ouster, several of the agency's top scientific leaders resigned. Greg Clugston, Washington.
On Wall Street, the Dow futures are up 59 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 3. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody is keeping an eye on the Fed and how an interest rate cut might affect gold prices. Gold has been hovering at around $3,400 an ounce for the last 2 months and is poised for dramatic growth with the next interest rate cut. If you have a qualified IRA or 401k, you could receive up to $10,000 in free gold and silver when you open your retirement account with Advantage Gold. Call 800-900-8000 now or visit AdvantageGold.com and get your free gold IRA guide. Consult with your financial and tax professionals before making investment decisions. Call 800-900-8000.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Tiny Greenland is a source of ongoing tension between the United States and Denmark.
The top U.S. diplomat in Denmark has been summoned by the government after reports that people connected to President Donald Trump have been carrying out covert influence operations in Greenland. Danish broadcaster DR reported on Wednesday that at least 3 Americans have been involved in these operations. They allegedly compiled lists of U.S.-friendly Greenlanders and tried to influence local politics. The Danish Security and Intelligence Service believes Greenland is a target for influence campaigns. The U.S. State Department says the Deputy Chief of Mission in Copenhagen had productive talks with Danish Foreign Ministry officials and reaffirmed their strong ties. The department declined to comment on what it called the actions of private U.S. citizens in Greenland. I'm Karen Chamas.
Iran's currency at a record low now. Concerns over the reimposition of UN sanctions. Townhall.com. Low-value imports are losing their duty-free status in the U.S.
It's part of President Trump's agenda for making the nation less dependent on foreign goods. A widely used customs exemption for international shipments worth $800 or less is set to end starting on Friday. Having to pay import taxes on small parcels likely will be a big change for some small businesses and online shoppers. Purchases that previously entered the U.S. without needing to clear customs will be subject to the origin country's tariff rate, which can range from 10 to 50%. John Scott reporting.
Japan's top trade bargainer has abruptly canceled a visit to Washington aimed at issuing a joint statement on a tariff deal. A top government spokesman says a trade envoy canceled the trip because there are some details of a potential deal that require further discussion. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. Let's have a listen. What does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yes, welcome to it.
Is there.
Penultimate day of the week before Labor Day.
Yeah, of course, I feel like it's like storms coming kind of week, too.
Yeah.
Because
it's been real quiet and like we've been in the eye of the storm almost. Because we're coming off of, the county fair season.
Yeah.
We're getting into football, and it's starting to kind of pick up a little bit. And you can hear the rumble of the thunder.
Yeah.
You know it's coming. Then it all breaks loose in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. But in this particular case, we have like an actual storm coming, like with Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
It's like rain chances are pretty good this weekend. Like tomorrow's a 40% tomorrow night.
Dang.
40% on Saturday. An 80% Saturday night.
Holy moly.
A 60% on Sunday.
Oh.
And a 70% Sunday night. And then a 50% on Labor Day.
Kids are supposed to be going to a birthday party on Sunday at the pool. That's bad news.
I'm just saying,
that is bad news, Bears.
Your parades might get rained on this weekend.
Oh.
It's just looking that way. So. And I feel bad because it's Labor Day weekend, but at the same time, I'm like, we have a rainy weekend. This is gonna be awesome.
That does sound pretty nice, Kick the feet up a little bit, maybe relax with a nice hot beverage.
Yeah,
that's nice. I just thought of something. It just made me think of something when you said raining on your parades. One of the main reasons I want to go to New Orleans, is because I found out a stand-up comic actually had a bit about this, and it piqued my interest. That for like $35, you can organize your own street parade.
For $35?
For like $35, you go down to the police station. They have a team that helps you set up a route for like you and like 5 of your friends. And you can like take your beverages to go. So basically just you, 5 of your friends, and a street band just walk in the streets.
Okay.
That sounds like the best time ever.
So basically you're not paying for a parade, you're paying for an entourage.
Yeah, you're paying You're paying for the right to shut down that area of the route.
Like I'm not gonna lie, when you say, hey, for $35 you can get a parade, I'm like, I'm good. But if you said $35 for like an entourage, of like whenever you walk in a room, a bunch of band starts playing it, that's tempting.
It is. It is. But you could hire them for like, $500 for the weekend, and just have them just show up 5 minutes before you get anywhere.
I just want to go to people's random things, like somebody's bar mitzvah or just, I don't know, like go to pay like a parking ticket.
Of course, instantly my mind goes to, as I'm walking in, the Saints Go Marching In starts playing.
Right. We're getting some baguettes. Let's go.
Oh, the foods. Yeah, the food.
You start joining some kind of like ghost tour or something, and the guy's all kind of, I'm sorry, they come with me. I just want to go on the ghost tour.
Yeah, sorry. I told them to stay home, but they insisted. They said, sir, you're getting your money's worth.
You should see when I have to go to the bathroom.
It really is a joyous occasion for all.
But happy Thursday.
Indeed.
And hopefully your plans for the weekend have a backup. Or at least
an
indoor
umbrella.
plan. Yeah, or an umbrella. One of these things, because we could get wet this weekend. So.
Well, there's always an indoor pool if, worst comes to worst.
You just threw.
Of course, I think when
it
there's
open?
when there's lightning, they close both down. Like you can't even use the indoor.
Oh, okay. In case lightning pierces through the building.
I'm not
and
sure
hits
how it
you
works.
Into the thing, and
I think it's the same concept of like you should never take a shower in a thunderstorm.
yeah, I disregard that rule.
There's nothing more peaceful than having indoor rain with my outdoor rain.
I'm like, thunderstorm, time to get in the tub.
Hand me that corded phone while we're at it.
I ignore those warnings. Like to live dangerously.
That's right.
Although, have you known anybody that got electrocuted in a shower during
No.
a thunderstorm?
Nope.
Was it ever in the history that
I'm
you know of?
sure there has to be one or two people out there.
Right.
It's like that Bill Engvall bit. It's like there's a reason that warning labels exist.
Right.
It's because people have probably tried it before.
Right. I get it, but people say things, and I'm almost like, do we really? Like, let's be honest. Has anyone eaten a sandwich and in less than 30 minutes went out in the water and had any issues?
That has actually been disproven. That was it was like a scientific journal article that was from like the 1950s that stated that you shouldn't swim 30 minutes after you because it can cause cramps.
Yeah.
But they have disproven that on several occasions. Now, can we back up a little bit to where you said Aiton?
Aiton.
Aiton?
Well, how'd I say it? 'Cause yeah, probably did. But...
Have you ever known somebody who's eaten a sandwich?
Oh, yeah. I'll slip an Aiton in. I ain't going to lie.
Aiton. I was like, I'm going to put a pin in that. We're going to come back to that. But
a little Maryland slips in every once in a while.
But yeah, the sandwich thing. So go nuts, It's, and you've seen it, in like advertising stuff. People have like the floating table with like the bag of chips. If it weren't okay to swim while you eat, that wouldn't be a thing. Like they would have figured out a way to be like, no, you can't sell that. It's encouraging swimming while eating.
Got Cheetos, man.
It's a gateway drug.
Look under the towel. There's Cheetos.
Sneak them in.
They were next to my wallet and glasses. Cheetos. Grab them.
Nothing more fun than sneaking a 6-pack of glass bottles to the beach.
Right.
Oh, okay, so I don't know if this was a joke or what, but I think it was Coors or some company designed a beer bottle, a glass beer bottle with a pointed bottom, which the whole purpose was so that you could
stab it in the sand?
In the sand on the beach.
Except no beaches except glass bottles.
Exactly. So there was some retweet that's like, I cannot over insist that you not do this.
Yeah, if you're going to at least do that, make it in a can form, or maybe make a koozie that has that, and then you could put whatever you want in it. I don't know. But yeah, you'd think as a beer company, and then, where do most people drink beer at the summer? I know, beaches, pools, places that usually don't allow glass. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, it says this beer bottle was designed to stick into the sand at a beach. And I'm trying to find the person that said, I cannot insist enough that you not do this. But this is the design of the bottle. It's a Corona. And it just looks like almost like a football on the bottom. So it couldn't sit flat. It's designed to almost be
only has
gouged
to sit like you don't get a choice.
Yeah.
This is either a beach beer or
because if you
can't
try hard enough, you could push a flat bottom beer bottle into the sand. It's not even that hard. You just twist a little bit, you're there.
And in all fairness, you could get that to work anywhere if you have a koozie.
That is true. But yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, this feels like a bad idea.
Yeah, someone didn't think that one through.
You can't give the average American that kind of freedom. Like, I know that we shouldn't, but you've made it to where we can. Yeah, probably.
Now, what they should have done was come up with like cereal boxes and put one of these plastic beach coasters or whatever you want to call it in each case of beer or whatever it is, and that done it that way, and then they could put what, in theory, any beverage they want that fits in a koozie.
Okay, so I have a new design for a beer bottle. Okay, because often you want to share a beer with your buddy across a party, right? So we design it to be heavy on the bottom. Okay, we'll have a weight on the bottom, and we'll have some arrows, the backs of the arrows on the top, so that you can just lawn dart it to your friends. Sharp at the bottom, so it'll go right through the top of their skull.
You're starting to sound like those ashtrays, those beanbag and car ashtrays, like you could put in. Remember those?
Oh, how could I forget? I grew up with those.
Yeah, that's what that sounds like.
It is. Yeah, it's
an evolution of that.
The idea is lawn darts, but for beer. Glass bottles on the beach don't sound like a bad enough idea here. Stab your friends. How about we put the beer inside of knives, and you have to shank your buddies to open it?
Good times.
Bad ideas in beer design.
There you go. Probably should get the hour going. We're going to replay. It's the end of the month, so I get a lot of replays.
You're rolling out the TV card a lot.
It is. It's true. We're going to replay our interview we had with Chaves County Manager Bill Williams last Friday, chit-chatting about commission meeting and all that. We'll play that here in just a bit. We're going to replay our interview with Elliot Rodriguez in the 8 o'clock hour for his monthly visit, always talking sage advice when it comes to home financial buying of the home, sit home, and all that.
Indeed.
And then speaking of sage advice, Mr. Matt Bristol joined us earlier this month. We'll play that interview for you here from Bristol Law. He, again, talks legal talk with us as well.
A lot of sage getting tossed around this morning.
So much sage. No cinnamon, all sage.
No, it's too sagey. You want cinnamon? You walk into a Hobby Lobby.
There you go. Or some kid's prank thing and try to eat it.
Pretty much any store, like a week from now.
There you go.
Every storefront you go into is just gonna you're gonna be smacked in the face with fall smells.
Yeah, I feel like we're already in pumpkin spice season, right? Like if you go to the coffee shops.
Oh, the PSL, they launched that like 2 weeks ago.
Back in September and August.
Early August.
Yeah. All right, 7:17. Here's your weather.
Weather this hour brought to you by Southwest Bearing under new ownership. Custom solutions for your heavy equipment. Hydraulic hoses, hose repair, bearings, seals, sprockets, belts, tools, fluids, and fittings.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking pretty good today. Sunshine with a few clouds and a very slight chance of an afternoon shower, mid to upper 90s. Overnight, some clouds and upper 60s, and then we'll have a stationary front setting up over our area on Friday. That'll bring us some showers and thunderstorms, mid to upper 90s on the afternoon high. Saturday, Sunday, and Labor Day, we have a chance of showers. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 70 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 64% with winds out of the northwest at 3 miles per hour. Going to be a warm one today, sunny and hot. 97 our expected high with winds out of the northwest 5 miles per hour. Partly cloudy, 70 for an overnight low tonight with west winds at around 5 miles per hour. For your Friday, a 30% chance at afternoon showers, mostly sunny. 93 tomorrow for a high. North winds at around 5 miles per hour. Chance of rain bumps up to 40% tomorrow night. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 68 with west winds at around 5 miles per hour. For your Saturday, 40% chance at afternoon showers. Partly cloudy and 92 with southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday night, our chance of rain's at 80% with an overnight low of 66 degrees. 60% chance at rain for Sunday afternoon, mostly cloudy, and 83 for a high. Sunday night, we're looking at a 70% chance at showers, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 64. And for Labor Day Monday, a 50% chance at showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon, partly cloudy, and 83 for a high. 20% rain on Tuesday, 20% on Wednesday of next week with highs in the upper 80s both days there. Good news is it's bringing a little bit cooler temps after today, so that's good too. All right, 7:19, we're going to take a 2.5-minute break, and then we're going to play our interview with Chaves County Manager Bill Williams. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Are you ready to succeed? ENMUR welcomes back students to the fall semester at Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. ENMUR's dedicated facilities and faculty provide an exceptional learning experience, from academic programs to behavioral sciences, business, health education, or technical education. ENMU Roswell offers a wide variety of certifications and degree programs designed to take your education and experience to the next level. Welcome back, students. Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Worth the journey. Roswell's hometown university.
Hey, CVE members, have you scheduled your no-cost home energy audit? If not, it's time to sign up. Call 575-746-3571 to get your name on the list for a free home energy audit. Weather stripping, new door sweeps, minor repairs, and much more. Start saving money and keep that purchased air in your home. Central Valley Electric Cooperative is happy to partner with Green Metal Energy for this valuable audit. Again, 575-746-3571.
Join Hot New Country 92.9 The Brand and La Pantera 106.1 FM for a special live broadcast this Saturday from 10 to 1 at Roswell Nissan. Summer's coming to an end, and Roswell Nissan wants to get you road ready for fall with the Upside Down $1 down used car blowout with huge savings on Pathfinder, Murano, and Rogue. Savings on the pre-owned lot and so much more. We'll be on hand with hot dogs, hot off the grill, and ice-cold Pepsi products, and maybe even a few surprises. See you Saturday 10 to 1 at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
Are you experiencing persistent symptoms like arthritis, fibromyalgia, pain, fatigue, brain fog, or respiratory issues that conventional medicine hasn't resolved? It could be due to underlying causes such as mold toxicity or autoimmune imbalances. At Roswell Medical Clinic, our functional medicine practitioners take a holistic approach, using advanced diagnostics to identify these root causes and create custom treatment plans that may include dietary changes, supplements, and detoxification protocols. Discover how functional medicine can transform your health. Contact us at 575-317-3311 or visit 111 West Hobbs to schedule your consultation.
Attention high school students and parents. Now is the time to make your plans to come visit the most affordable university in the Southwest, Eastern New Mexico University. ENMU is hosting our annual high school open house preview day on Saturday, October 18th. Come learn about scholarships, discover majors, talk with current students and faculty, and win some great prizes. Sign up today at enmu.edu/open house. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success. That's what we're about.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. A group of 12 or more cows is called a flink. If you have only 11 cows, that's called a lot of cow pies. Here's Mike Winters.
In studio this morning, Chaves County Manager Bill Williams back with us. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to see you.
How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing well. I was really entertained by your talk of old radio stuff this morning, the old days of things. My wife, many years ago, worked at KBIM radio, and she sat behind the I downtown, if you know where the I was on the CB, was it CBS I think it was.
I believe you're right, yeah.
She sat behind that, and remember going out to the radio tower that the Kings had back, I don't know, I think it's back behind the Sonic North or something. There was some giant tube that burned out. They lost all their transmission power. It took them like a week to get it. They were on side power and all kinds of crazy stuff.
And those tubes are, I know a radio tube. Mm-hmm. Now, most of the time, most stations are flipping to solid states now, but back then those tubes, I know our AM and all that, it was about $1,500 a tube for, and I imagine TV's even way more expensive.
Oh, I bet.
But a radio tube was about $1,500, and you had to replace it once or twice a year, if I remember right.
Well, things have certainly changed, and we saw that yesterday in our commission meeting, because the commissioners had to make a decision on a data center. That's something none of us know anything about. It's hard enough to get up to speed with solar and wind power and now battery storage, but now they've got data centers that are interested in coming to to a town near you.
There you go.
So that was
we got land, so they can set up the technology, right?
Right. So, but yesterday's meeting was really interesting. I kind of want to start at the end of the meeting,
all right,
because there's something I don't want to forget.
All right,
and then
something
we'll go
important,
back to
let's go by importance here.
There was some. Well, the most important thing was up front, because some young people were honored and and did a great job doing some other things. But so I don't forget.
Mm-hmm.
everyone's anxiously anticipating the air show.
Yes.
Whether the anxiousness is from anticipation or from the unknown, I don't know. But,
yes, it's probably a cocktail of all of the above.
But everyone certainly, it's on the forefront of everyone's mind. And, of course, the city has worked really diligently to have meetings to assure the public safety and all that. They've got fire department stuff figured out. They're working with volunteers and others to make sure no matter what happens that people are going to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
They've made arrangements to bring in like 29 state police officers to assist them. The city police are, all scheduling their overtime because they're all going to be out there in force and
yeah, I'd say it's
hard.
probably hard to get that weekend off in any law enforcement.
I can imagine.
Locally
and like I say,
here,
29 state police coming here.
Yeah.
I think they had a few more, but as schedules settled out, I think they ended up with 29. But the city's done a really good job of engaging the community. Had several public safety meetings so that everyone would know what happens. It did a desktop exercise. If this happens, this is what goes, And then yesterday afternoon or yesterday morning at the end of the meeting, the sheriff came to us and gave us his update. The sheriff has invited some additional counties to join him to enhance his staff. So he's going to have officers from different counties and here.
Probably from Lee and Eddy, I'm guessing, or some of the neighboring counties.
Well, actually had some from pretty far away, and I'm sorry I don't remember which counties.
Okay.
I want to say he said Taos County was sending a few too, but anyway, that brought up my question.
I think they're just Air Race fans and a
well,
chance to do some extra work down south. I'll take it.
Yeah. How many people are coming just so they've got a ringside seat?
Put it this way: my dad worked at RFK Stadium, as an usher, just so you can see Redskin games for free. So.
Well, to see Sonny Jurgensen would be okay. Yeah. I would work as an usher for that. Chris Handberger, Sonny Jurgensen.
Well, one of the side gigs
in the last 40 years, I'm not sure I care anything about the Redskins.
But one of the side things was he got to do concert stuff. So he saw a Rolling Stones concert.
Oh my goodness!
Wow. He saw. I think it was Tyson and Buster Douglas fight. It was one of them fights that was in D.C. and he worked it. Yeah.
Those fights, though, I want to be ringside,
Yeah.
and that's what's nice about watching a fight on television. You're right there, but when you look at how far away those people are, and they're trying to say who hit who,
Yeah.
That's
unless
crazy.
you got the jumbotron nearby, it's kind of hard, or you're ringside,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to tell.
But
so.
I've never been to a fight, but that would be quite the charged room, I'm sure. So, but anyway, the sheriff told us that he was going to have some additional help coming in, and just had a question for him. I said,
Gotcha.
okay, so hypothetically, don't do this, boys and girls. Do not do what
do not do this at home, kids.
I said, hypothetically, a fellow by the name of Bill lives out east of Roswell and decides to come to town, and maybe he's driving too fast or something on a county road, and officer pulls up behind him and turns on the lights, and this gentleman, this hypothetical person, looks in the mirror and says, Are they asking me to pull over?
Yeah.
And so you start to pull over, and then you realize that it says Taos Sheriff's Department.
Right, it's not a local sheriff.
What do you do?
Yeah.
And he, so we wanted to clear up that there could be people here from out of town.
Okay.
And if they are, try to be respectful, be cautious, however. I mean, if you think that it's not right,
Sure.
My understanding is what you do is you call 911
and dispatch.
Turn on your hazard lights so that the person behind you knows that you've seen them. Drive carefully, slowly, whatever.
Sure.
And they can tell you if dispatch will say, hey, somebody's behind me.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is. And so if you have any doubt, but just want to be sure people know that there could be other law enforcement.
So if you see a police vehicle doesn't look like a normal one.
Recognize.
Yeah.
So be cautious, but be considerate and watch out. But the city has done a great job with assuring that everybody should be covered and we should all be safe. But,
Sure.
But again, there's a possibility you might encounter someone that is out of place.
Sure.
So I just wanted to say that.
Patrol car looks a little different. The uniform looks a little different.
Not that I get pulled over a lot, but it has happened, and I really don't know what I would do if.
Well, Bill wants to make sure you can say, "Do you know who I am?" card. So, and he wants to make sure the deputies. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's right. So, but seriously, the air show is going to be a great boon to our community.
Yeah,
We're
absolutely.
anxiously I'm anxious on multiple levels.
Absolutely.
Nobody knows what's going to happen.
It is a big batch of unknown. It really is,
of
that
course,
first one.
Each year that they have it, I know that we'll get better, we'll adapt, and things will just get better and better. But this is the first time of doing something that we've never seen before. So it's going to be really something.
I will say this, a lot of lessons will be learned over that week. I will tell you that right now.
Sure, that's the case.
But it's going to be all for the good benefit. I imagine a few years from now it's going to be a much more well-oiled machine, and we're going to have it. But yeah, till the infrastructure's in place, till the lay of the land's in place, till we know exactly what kind of turnout we're going to get, it's kind of a crapshoot right now.
Well, my wife sings most Friday nights, and trying to figure out how are we even going to get a parking place to carry your equipment in.
That's my biggest concern is, like, if you're a volunteer or if you're something, how are you going to navigate getting in and out without spending 6 hours doing so?
Yeah.
That's
a lot remains to be seen, but I'm sure it'll be great. And it's going to be a huge economic impact to our community.
Absolutely.
So hopefully we'll rise to the occasion, and we will invest the money wisely that we make off of this deal.
Absolutely.
So back to the commission meeting and the most important
important part. The honoring of some great people.
So we honored a young lady with a proclamation yesterday. Her name is Adrienne V. Hill. Miss V. Hill is a local Girl Scout. She's Charlie's Angels, Roswell High School, excellent student.
So pretty good dancer, huh? You got to be a dancer.
To be Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm such a bad dancer; they won't even let me watch them.
I feel that pain.
But she's just an amazing, outstanding young lady, and she recognized that we have a method in place to dispose of a U.S. flag when it's reached the end of its life, when it's no longer an honorable representation of our great nation. And she says, you know what? How do we get rid of the New Mexico flag? There's nothing in statute that says here's the procedure to
properly retire it.
To properly retire and honor the state of New Mexico and their flag. And so she looked into it, found out sure enough there was nothing in place to do that. And so she worked with the state legislature, and harder to say than you think this time of the morning. I need more coffee. But she worked with the state legislature, and they came up with a bill, House Bill 468, I believe it was, that talks about how to retire the New Mexico flag. So there's actually a law in place, which took place June 20th. I mean, they have to put a timeline when it actually will take place. So June 20th of this year, that law went into effect. So now there is a method and a set of instructions on what to do to properly honor the New Mexico state flag.
That's pretty interesting.
And as a part of this, they had to go to the Zia Pueblo because, of course, we have the Zia on the New Mexico flag. So they went to the Zia Pueblo and asked them, what do we need to do to assure that we honor you and your custom and culture as well while we're doing that? So we had an opportunity to pay tribute to the great work that she did.
That's cool.
And to recognize what she's done. We had a state of New Mexico flag. She was given an honor by the state legislature as well, and we've had senators and representatives and the governor sign this flag, and other local people that were at the meeting when she received that. And then yesterday we had the flag. So all the commissioners that had not signed it signed it. We asked the people in the gallery to sign it as well. It's a memento and a keepsake for her for
so cool.
many, many years. But
I'm sure she'll have it her whole life.
Oh man, what a cool thing.
Yeah. But I am kind of curious now. Is there a set of rules, like for the U.S. flag? There is basically written U.S. flag etiquette: how to fold the flag. How it's all the rules governing when you hang a flag. If it's at night, you got to put the light, the whole thing. Is there a set of those for the New Mexican flag as well, as far as etiquette and stuff? Because now I'm kind of curious. Or do we just assume the same rules apply? Or I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good question. We'll ask her to check into the etiquette for the state flag. But now we have at least a disposal.
Exactly.
method,
That's what I'm saying. We've got a starting point. That's where I'm kind of curious. Yeah.
Just an omission.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that we couldn't exist without it. But she's right. I mean, there should be a dedicated way to properly honor our flag and our state. So she did a wonderful job.
I'm kind of curious.
And we're really glad she did that.
Because there is actual, like, I know as being an American Legion, Legionnaire, and things like that, we do have American flag retirement ceremonies, and we actually do it stripe by stripe, and they cut the stars out and everything.
Wow.
Now I'm very curious to see. I want to see a New Mexico flag retirement ceremony. I want to see what is that process. I'd be very curious to see that because I don't know. I have no idea.
I will make sure that you have Miss Hill's name and number, contact
I would love to have her
so that you can get her on here and
I think that'd be great.
And let her explain this whole process that she went through.
Yeah.
What a cool thing.
Yeah.
So we had that. Excuse me. And then there was a presentation by the Hagerman FFA. Hagerman FFA came in with their advisor and 4 of their officers. And they came in and they thanked the Chaves County Board of Commissioners because they wrote a proclamation for them for their 95th anniversary. The Hagerman FFA chapter was the 6th chapter in the state of New Mexico to get their authorization to exist.
Awesome.
And that happened in 1929. Most chapters...
Funny, those kids don't look that old.
Yeah, they're all doing really well. They are one of the few chapters nationwide, not just in New Mexico, but one of the chapters nationwide that has not rewritten or reorganized.
Okay.
This is the original...
It is not altered or changed since 1912, basically.
95 years in existence, the Hagerman FFA. And I remember I was a Hagerman FFA.
Back then?
Person, a Hagerman graduate. And back then, Dexter didn't have an FFA program. And so the students from Dexter would come to Hagerman for Future Farmers of America and for agricultural instruction.
So there's some Dexter lineage in there, too. Yeah.
And then Hagerman kids, of course, we also had an opportunity to go to Dexter to take ag mechanics because they have a wonderful ag mechanics program to this day. They do. And, of course, now Dexter has their own Future Farmers of America. But the Hagerman FFA was honored last year by the commission for 95 years in existence and, kind of celebrated, made a big deal out of it.
That's cool.
I was honored having been a Hagerman graduate, believe it or not, I graduated. No,
you got a diploma and everything.
And a member of the Hagerman FFA, former president of the Hagerman FFA many, many years ago. And so I went down and presented them with the proclamation. And,
cool.
And
it's like a little full circle moment for you personally.
It was really good.
Yeah.
And so they gave me an award this year.
Oh, cool.
They made me an honorary member of the Hagerman FFA for the year 2025. So
nice.
Once again, I'm Hagerman.
You're back in there.
Yeah, I'm in there. So
they just want your dues money. I was kidding.
No, it was a fun time. And I really, believe in the message of agriculture and certainly within our county and what they teach the kids and the Future Farmers of America is a wonderful thing.
That is absolutely, yeah.
It'll follow your whole life. So
that's great.
So that was a really cool thing.
I'll say this real quick before we move on is a guy's been in radio for a minute and doing things, and every year we'll go to one of the fairs and do our thing at the fair, and we'll interview the FFA and 4-H students every year. And I'm telling you, of all the youth I generally interview over athletes, the drama club, all the various students and various organizations. The FFA kids are always, they just have a aura about them. Very, you can tell manners were taught to these young men and women.
Right.
You know what I mean? They just, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. Their answers are thought infused. There wasn't just a yes, no, yeah, nah. There was actual thought behind the answers they give to you. And it's just every every student I see, whether they're 18 or 8, coming through those programs, they always just seem to be class acts. Everyone.
Well, if you've ever been to a livestock show, you've got a kid out there showing a pig, for instance. That kid is dressed in his Sunday best.
Yeah.
His shirt is tucked in. His pants are pulled up. His boots are shined, but they might be losing.
They've already been
shine.
walking through some mud already.
They might be losing their shine a little bit, but but you can tell that
they started the day that way.
that they respect the the process.
Sure.
And they dress up for that, and they do their very best. Their
Yeah.
hair's combed, and they're showing a pig.
Yep.
You think, well, you're just herding a pig
They-
around.
they're taking pride in
how nice
what they
do.
do.
You need to be,
Yep.
but they do, and they're judged on that.
Yep.
And the kids really step up and come forward and
Well,
honor our
it
legacy.
exudes in their other aspects of their life too. So yes, you are absolutely correct. Those programs are amazing, and not to mention raising and bringing up some great quality folks. But guess what? Without them, we ain't eating in the future. That's all I'm saying.
Well, like Candy Spincey's says, if you eat, you're involved in
Exactly.
agriculture. That's her go-to saying.
Yep.
You cannot go anywhere, and
Yeah, everyone-
Candy will remind you, if you eat, you're involved. So
You're absolutely correct. Yep.
So we had one public hearing yesterday. It was for a special use permit for a utility scale solar project, data center, and battery energy storage system.
So basically a power collecting area or storage, or basically a bunch of batteries for solar or whatever?
Yeah, but it's a data center. So
Okay.
for artificial intelligence, well, I guess for
it's gonna
any
be a
time
bunch
you
of- like
send
a-
something to the cloud,
So it's
it
like
doesn't
cloud
actually-
servers or whatever you want to call it?
I
Server
guess
farm?
so. And there's, this is all such new technology, and that's one of the things that our commissioners are actively trying to do is educate themselves on
Gosh.
what this is. We're in the process of rewriting our comprehensive land use plan that was written
Okay.
in 2014 and had one update, but we're rewriting that to make sure that we cover things that we never even thought about.
Sure.
We had no idea that we were going to need anything in there about solar or
Yeah.
wind towers or battery storage or
Wait till
data
we-
centers. That all has to be added.
Wait till the
because
mind control probes show up, man. We don't know.
We're going to need another chapter, the mind control.
Just kidding, but yeah, you're right. We don't know because the technology.
We had no idea any of this was on the horizon.
Sure.
So that's one of the areas that we're going to emphasize when we rewrite our land use plan. We won't be rewriting it because we have a pretty robust plan.
Sure.
In fact, many other counties in New Mexico and counties in other states have asked us for copies of our plan because
Mhm.
we do a pretty good job of specifying what we expect
Sure.
for our lands in Chaves County. And this is the land use plan is kind of the document that we use to defend what we do and what we expect
Sure.
in Chaves County. So when the federal government comes in and tries to condemn 7,000 or take 700,000 acres for a 6,344 acre wildlife refuge, we go to the book and say, the custom and culture of Chaves County is that we're going to do multiple use on public lands, that the federal government should not own all the land, that this should be for the people to bring benefit to the state
Sure.
of New Mexico. So, the food, fiber, minerals,
Yeah.
timber, all that stuff comes from hardworking people in our counties. And when the federal government comes in and takes it over, well, for instance, the forest.
Sure.
They quit harvesting the forest. Guess what happens? You have forest fires. Guess what happens? You have floods.
You get the
And so
improper management.
So
yeah.
we have this document that we use. It's kind of our guiding document. And if we end up in a battle with a government entity, we say, look, we told you years ago, this is what we expect out of you. We told you years ago that we know that the Federal Land Policy Management Act requires that you coordinate with local governments and bring us in early in the process. Don't tell us after you wrote the plan and say, what do you think?
Right.
We don't really care.
It involves our backyard. We want every every part. Yeah.
So we have all that in our plans. But again, like I say, everything has to be updated from time to time. We've
Sure.
found through the years, even though we have a good, robust plan in Chaves County, we found some little chinks in our armor, little gaps where we feel like we need to tighten it up and make
Sure.
sure that we're ready. Because as we've done these things, we've got 2 commissioners going to Washington in a couple of weeks
Mhm.
to try to get our payment in lieu of taxes, make sure that that's secure for our counties. We've got 2 of them coming for that. And then we also have one of the commissioners has made some arrangements to go talk to the Forest Service about those very things I was just talking about.
Sure.
Commissioner Perry has got appointments to go talk to the Forest Service about how they manage and how they do things. So we try to tighten that thing up. But as I say, we had no idea about data centers and solar farms and how
Right.
much
and
bearing that would have on us. So we're all trying to educate. And learn.
Sure, because I imagine, and this is maybe where it goes to a case by case as different companies and stuff come to the commission. But yeah, like you said, because let's face it, a lot of the county, as farm agriculture and things. All right, if we're going to put a server farm somewhere in here, how's that going to impact the farms and ranches around? Right. Is it a minimal impact? Is it a major impact? That's the stuff you guys are trying to learn, basically.
Right. That's what we're trying to learn.
Yeah.
And of course, that's how our public hearings go is there's an opportunity for people who are for whatever you're trying to do, or opportunity for people who are against to speak up in favor or against it.
Sure. So, well, and either way, it's all, and this is it, because it could be, there's these, both statements are true here. It's like, we got a lot of land. This could be a definite financial and economic opportunity for the county by doing some of this, but we got to first learn
at what cost.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't.
What's the catch?
It's difficult to make those decisions if you don't understand what a data center is.
Well, and then if you just green light everything, and then down the road you're like, oh, they're putting something in the water table that's messing things up, then we need to talk.
That's one of the things that always come up in our meetings. People will say, how's this going to affect the wildlife? How's this going to affect farming? How's this going to affect the water? We're very fortunate that we have people that are engaged in that. I was texting with one of our county commissioners from Curry County last night, talking about yesterday's meeting, and he says, "You mean people come to your public meetings?" Yes, actually they do.
Yeah, we get them stirred up enough, but
and I told him sometimes they come with torches and pitchforks, but
they're
they
here.
do come.
They're here. But this is kind of that part that you're kind of, we were talking about earlier here is being the watchdog for federal overreach on some of this stuff, because at the end of the day, the people that care more about our water table, our impacts of this and that, are the people that live here, the people that work, live, recreate, honor God, whatever they do it here.
Yes. And they're planning to raise their families
and
here
they're
for 50, 60 years. And if you put in something that's going to be there 50, 60, 100 years, you need to really kind of look down the road. And nobody's got a crystal ball, of course, but you need to take each project on its merit, and you need to take each project based on where it is in the county. There's a place for anything and anything in its place.
Sure.
But that doesn't mean that you put big solar panels right here where your station is.
Exactly.
We need you here, man. And maybe you put them on the roof.
There you go. But that's what we're kind of trying to figure out. And that's
right.
But what my point is this is where, I think the county and our commission and some of our neighboring counties and things, they really are the watchdog for us on these types of things. And this is why, all the time you see Bill coming in, and almost every time we talk, rarely do we talk just about the commission meeting. We talk about some bigger picture thing that impacts multiple counties or the region, and this is kind of one of those types of things.
Well, the county commissioners are local government. Absolutely, they're local government, just like the mayor of Hagerman, the city council in Roswell, the Dexter town council. Those are all local government. The difference is the mayor of Hagerman, the city council, they fight more or less local battles. And I don't want to say they fight battles, because that's not what they're about. But
their responsibilities vary.
Their responsibilities are for that specific area. When you get to county government, these guys are actually reaching well beyond our county and working as a cohesive group nationwide to make sure that counties can represent the municipalities within their counties. It's a much bigger, even though it's a local government, it's the closest form of local government, to the people, but they have far-reaching responsibilities. And our counselors, our commissioners, have taken that very seriously.
Sure.
Like I say, Michael Perry went on his own and made sure he could get appointments with the Forest Service so he could talk to them when he's there in a couple of weeks.
And this is, and if this is not a fair comparison, please tell me, but I kind of look at it like when you look at your city officials, mayor, city councils, like their charge is really, the day-to-day stuff, is your road good? Is your water coming on? Is your trash getting picked up?
And the county has those same responsibilities.
But that's not your forefront.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like constitutional rights and those types of things, the city's not so much. That's the fight where the county picks up at. And whereas the cities, they're busy making sure that, the water, now obviously if you live in the county, there is facilities and things, but mostly the city officials deal with city infrastructure, 90% of it, you know, and that, you know, of course they always talk about, all right, we're going to bring a new neighborhood here, a new business here into city limits, but for the most part, it's all about infrastructure.
Well, when you look at a county, you know, if they do something in Taos County, the state does something, the federal government does something in Taos County, that has the potential to impact Chaves County.
Sure.
And as we talked a couple of weeks ago about the National Interest Electric Transmission Corridors, we had 8 counties in eastern New Mexico, and actually going all the way over to Otero County as well. 8 of us were directly impacted by the federal government's move to condemn as much as 1,841,000 acres of land. They care less what it's used for. We might want that. We might need that. And so we banded together. The 8 counties banded together. We had several town hall meetings. We got at least hundreds, if not thousands. And I mean, it could have been thousands of people come to these town hall meetings and express their concern and their desire, what they wanted these county governments to do. And then we took that to a national level and got 3,084 counties belong to the National Association of Counties that counties across the U.S. belong to. We got them to approve a resolution in opposition of this thing that affects 8 New Mexico counties and 5 counties in southern Colorado, a little bit of, you know, Oklahoma, but we did that right here.
Yeah.
Your counties in southeastern New Mexico brought the fight.
They rallied the troops.
So you know what they do is really important, and we're very fortunate that at least in our part of the state,
I think I just sometimes probably don't realize, and that's why I kind of wanted to. Yeah, when you talk about your, you know, it's just that their issues are different than, you know, what a county commissioner works on is not necessarily the same as what a city councilor works on.
But it's all important.
Absolutely, it's just different, you know. But when we talk about
it's just a different job.
But when we talk about things like when federal government moves in, that's more of a county fight 90% of the time than a city fight. I'm not saying it's never, but
sometimes we're successful staving them off. You know, in 2014, we successfully fought against the listing of the prairie chicken as a threatened species. We said the science doesn't bear this out.
Yeah.
Federal judges heard the case. They said, you know what, you're right. Science doesn't bear this out. So fast forward 10 years and federal government says, you know what, let's move the goalpost a little bit and let's do an end run. Let's take an obscure rule in the Endangered Species Act, the 4A rule, and say that for whatever reason, this specific population of this lesser prairie chicken doesn't meet my subjective requirements. It didn't improve, even though there was an increase across the range, all the way from up Nebraska all the way down. You know, it increased across the range, but let's pick where it's the lowest amount, say, sorry, it didn't increase enough, and therefore let's call that an endangered species in that portion of the range.
Sure.
And it only makes sense if it's endangered in a portion of the range, then it's at least threatened in the rest of the range, even though there's a bumper crop of them north of here.
That sounds like from the people that make the
this is true story,
the political lines. They draw the district lines.
Will Kevin loves to say, you can't make this stuff up. You have to pause there because it's not always the way
that was a family edit, yeah.
So anyway, that's exactly what they did. They said endangered species below this imaginary line and threatened species up there. So again, we took them to court. Us and a group of other like-minded individuals took them to court. They overturned it. They completely vacated. First of all, they didn't apply the law correctly. You can't do that. You can't twist the stats to fit what you want, which was all proven out. That's what they did. So they revoked the endangered species status for the lesser prairie chicken. And what's interesting about that, when they first started talking about making it a threatened species, they had unbelievable cooperation from agriculture, farming, ranching industry. Everyone came together and says, you know what, we don't want this to affect our way of life. So what can we do to change our management practices to make sure that this doesn't get listed?
That's what rational people do.
Unprecedented cooperation. They've changed things. They did things the way Fish and Wildlife asked them to do and said, this should help. Sure enough, it increased the numbers. And they threw all that out the window and did it anyway. But the people want to do what's right. They don't want to be threatened with a weaponized Endangered Species Act, which kind of is what happened.
They'll do what's right as long as you don't order them.
Your county governments went in 2014, won that battle recently. I mean, just in the last couple of weeks, it was announced that it's done. It's overturned.
Good.
But those are the kind of things that your county commission does for you. And it's not just Chaves County. I mean, all of our counties are in these same battles.
Every county.
Because what happens in Quay County might be different than what happens in Chaves County, but we all represent the local people at that level and the customs and cultures of each of our communities.
And they're very similar in that, and they share the same types. But yes, that's the fight. And, I just saw the time. We got about 5 minutes to get her going.
And
so.
I've gone through one item. Okay. So the commission, a long debate, a lot of learning and questions and answers. They did pass a special use permit for utility grade solar. This is 8,500 acres down on the county line on Pearson Road. So just the other side of Pearson Road is Eddy County. This side of Pearson Road is Chaves County.
Gotcha.
It's a huge undertaking, a huge project. We'll see what it means to us in the future. Time will tell, but certainly
potential's there for some good things.
Based on its specific information, they felt that this was the proper thing to do at this time. So, so we'll see, and we'll learn more about data centers.
We'll hammer it out and see what comes of it.
We had a couple of change orders for some of our construction projects. $18,000 change order for the Cultural Plaza over here across the street. That's coming along nicely. I encourage everybody to drive by and see the stage and stuff that's starting to go up.
If you're going by the farmer's market tomorrow morning, go walk on over there and check it out.
Farmer's market, we went last weekend. It was really, again, a great event. That event grows
They're hopping
every year.
right now. Right now it's like the sweet time.
They're really doing good.
This is probably like the high tide of farm. Like the produce is coming in pretty good right now.
Well, Tina bought some fresh produce Saturday, and of course, I ate it right up. Didn't slow down. Another change order to our Pecos Valley Regional Communications Center renovation. We're building an entire new space for dispatch. The county houses them, and we're giving them a much larger space and an opportunity to grow and meet our needs for the next, hopefully, 50 years. They've been in their current location for about 20, and they've way outgrown it. So we really hope. And this is the community dispatch. It's not just the county. It's not just for the volunteer fire departments and the sheriff. This is city, county.
It serves all the people of this area.
Yeah. And
it's
on a quick side note, we have a series of towers all the way around town that all communicate with one another. So if an officer keys his radio mic to talk back to somebody, it may not go to the closest tower. It may go to a farther one, but then that tower communicates with all the other towers. So that means somebody 100 miles, this is a big county, 100 miles away down in the Boot Hill, one of those towers is going to be able to make contact with him, and you don't have that old days, we were talking about radio stuff.
Right.
You can't hear anybody unless you're next door to them. One of our towers was struck by lightning down in the Boot Hill.
That tends to happen.
And everyone is amazed at how completely it destroyed all of the equipment. Things are welded together. We're unsure if the tower even survived.
Just melted, huh?
They're going to have to evaluate that because I guess it was a direct hit.
Ooh.
And man, the photon torpedoes hit it hard. I don't know.
I've seen a few towers lose those battles in my day.
So we did that. We approved some appropriations that we got. We're always working towards getting more funding for different things in the county. We had 5 appropriations that we brought forward and got those approved. Minor update to the Chaves County purchasing policy. I'm trying to do the fast.
We're the streamline.
And a couple out-of-state travel deals. And then we had in other business, we had a quick question about an appeal of our decision to not allow someone to store some recyclable wind turbine blades on their property.
Oh, yeah, we talked about this last time.
And it kind of got into a much deeper area, and so they decided that what they would like to do is have this come back as an official zoning deal where we would have an open public hearing and all. They're going to ask them to apply for a special use permit for that use, and then it will go through the planning and zoning. It'll go through the commission ultimately. And so that was quite a long meeting.
That
yesterday.
one got bigger.
It was a good meeting. It was fun, and I was just really glad to see the young lady get the award at the beginning.
That's so cool about the flag.
So proud of the local leaders and the future farmers of America. It's always good to see the future leaders.
Yeah, we definitely. I'd love to have her on the show.
I will get you her information. It's an amazing story. Amazing.
I don't know. Let's see. Not only we got to start here, but I think maybe this. I don't think she's done yet. I think she's got more work to do.
I think that this young lady will be a part of New Mexico for her whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just really an outstanding individual.
Just getting started here, but absolutely. Of course, don't forget you can always go and check the meetings out. They're filmed at the county YouTube channel there at the county website.
Yes, I was going to say they're on YouTube now.
Yeah.
They're not on Facebook. Facebook has changed the way that they do things, and so they delete their videos after 30 days.
Yes.
And we can't do that. So
yeah, you need those up there for perpetuity. But yeah, they'll find them. But I believe there's a link on the county website to that, to the YouTube page.
To the YouTube channel.
Yes, exactly. You can go back and watch not only yesterday's meeting, but previous meetings as well, too. Can't watch future meetings yet. We haven't figured that technology out.
Well, with the data centers, maybe.
Maybe. Thank you, Bill, as always.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time, if not sooner.
Okay,
Good deal.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. They hugged each other. They wiped away tears. Mourners at last night's vigil, and the 2 children killed, 17 people injured in the Minneapolis church school shooting. Police Chief Brian O'Hara says the gunman attacked as the youngsters were attending a service in the Annunciation Catholic School chapel.
During the Mass, a gunman approached on the outside, on the side of the building, and began firing a rifle through the church windows towards the children sitting in the pews at the Mass.
The gunman, 23-year-old Robin, formerly known as Robert Westman, police say died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. A personnel shakeup at the country's top public health agency, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
The White House has fired CDC Director Susan Monarez less than a month after she was confirmed by the Senate, saying she isn't aligned with President Trump's agenda and refused to resign. Her lawyers said Monarez was targeted, and her removal is part of a systematic dismantling of public health institutions. Several top CDC leaders also submitted their resignations.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston. Reversing a Biden administration decision, the Air Force will provide full military funeral honors for Ashley Babbitt. She's the Air Force veteran fatally shot inside the U.S. Capitol January 6, 2021. She was shot by then Capitol Police Officer Michael Byrd. Although Washington, D.C.'s mayor is no fan of President Trump's National Guard deployment, his federalization of the city's law enforcement, Muriel Bowser says crime has declined significantly, including an 87% drop in carjackings in less than 3 weeks. Unemployment applications fell last week, and the GDP has been revised upward. Watching Wall Street, the Dow down 66 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are
actual size.
The Mercator projection is one of the world's most popular maps. On it, Greenland and Africa appear to be about the same size. But on the Equal Earth projection, which shows continents in their true proportions, 14 Greenlands would easily fit inside the African continent. Now, a campaign by African advocacy groups is gaining momentum online as it urges organizations and schools to adopt the Equal Earth projection. They say it more accurately displays the size of the continent of more than 1.4 billion people. I'm Lawrence Brooks.
Israeli and U.S. officials have met in Washington discussing post-war Gaza. The meeting came even as Israel's military calls the evacuation of Gaza City inevitable ahead of a new offensive. No signs of a ceasefire are in sight. News and analysis, townhall.com. The Uvalde School District released only a fraction of the documents it said would be made public relating to the 2022 massacre.
Officials in the small Texas town say it's an honest mistake that they are fixing. The district released thousands of pages earlier this month following years of litigation to withhold documents connected to one of the deadliest classroom attacks in history. Now, the existence of still more unreleased material was revealed this week. 26,000 pages and 8,500 emails are set to be released within the next week. Jason Walker reporting.
New Jersey's American Dream Mall in Paramus is being sued for allowing retail sales on Sundays in violation of county glue laws. Officials in Bergen County, New Jersey, say the mall's actions give it an unfair advantage over other retailers in the area. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. Let's have a listen. What does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Excuse me. I was fighting that thing coming. I was like, come on. Up mornings of the Mike Winters. That thing just crept up all of a sudden like, oh no, I'm going to sneeze. That thing came out of nowhere.
Now, I got a question on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy sneezing?
Enjoy?
Like, I know it's a weird question to ask, but this was actually brought up in conversation recently. When somebody goes to sneeze and you say bless you before the sneeze, they say it's jinxing it to where you can't sneeze.
Yeah.
And my friend literally out loud said, I like to sneeze. I wanted to sneeze. And it kind of makes sense, too, if you think about it. You know, a good sneeze feels real good. You know,
I guess I don't
refreshing.
Like hate it. What my problem is sometimes sneezes come in like 3.
Oh, yeah,
That's when I'm like, all right. This is enough.
It's even to the point where I'm like, all right.
You know,
Yeah.
1, maybe 2, but we're getting 3, 4, 5 territory. Is enough.
I'm always, it's like, I'm the same way with sneezes as I am with laughs. I love a unique laugh, and I love a unique sneeze. And it's weird, I have just the one shot on me right now, or on this part of the camera. Anyways, I think she turned away from you so you could sneeze.
Nice. We're still coming.
So last weekend, I ended up getting a slow leak in one of my tires, so I ended up at Lycan's Tire again.
You just have a standing account over there, don't you?
I do. And yet they couldn't find me in the system. But I thought it was really funny because while I'm sitting there, the young lady that works I think she's like maybe one of the owners, but she helped me out at the counter, and she walked away and came back in, and she sneezed, but the way she did it was she went,
oh, the suppression.
Yes. Suppressive fire sneeze.
Yes.
But that can't feel good. I mean, when you hold back, first of all, they say not to because you can like blow up internal organs if you hold back a sneeze.
Well, I look at it because I do it too sometimes, because sometimes when the sneeze comes, it's just like, oh, and I'm like, I don't want to be a center of attention here,
right.
So I'm just going to do something that maybe people won't notice, because I don't want a whole room of people God blessing me.
Right, that does good. And then there's the protocol. It's like, And this has actually come up. I meant to talk to Jocelyn about this. She has a couple of sneezes every morning, and I'm never sure whether to say bless you, partially because, well, you know, there's the whole belief structure of blessings and saints. And, you know, she doesn't subscribe to that. So I guess God's be with you is what we should say. But so it's always like a weird thing. It's like, but then I've set a precedent. So now do I just never say bless you, or is it just
See, in moments like that, just go foreign language. Gesundheit.
Salud.
Gesundheit.
Somebody even pointed out that if, like, you know, atheists, like, oh, I don't want to hear all that. Do you say goodbye? Have you ever said goodbye to someone? Because you're saying God's be with you. God be with you is what that's short for. Goodbye.
Look, my personal thing, everyone has their beliefs, but you need to get into a point of life where you can't be offended every time someone's trying to wish you well, even if it's not your way of wishing
and it's
someone
not even
well.
it's not even that I'm worried about them being offended. It's more like I just don't know the protocol.
I know. It's just like, people just, we used to go to, like, back in the day, people like, oh, well, they meant good. So we just don't, it's not evil. It's not mad purpose. Now we live in a society, it's like, well, they don't know my whole history and background. How dare they say Merry Christmas to me? I'm like, really? This is where we live at now, you know? And that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, look, okay, it's not your thing, but
then there's other aspects.
They're
of it
wishing
too,
well.
like,
move on.
Like, and I don't know where everybody learned this, but somewhere along the line, everybody learned at some point that when you sneeze, your heart skips a beat.
Yeah.
Like, that was just common knowledge before the internet was a thing. Like, some kid said it at school, one school somewhere, and it just spread out.
Oh, I remember when I was a kid telling every other kid I knew that if you, sneeze, fart, burp,
that you could stop your
cough. I think there's one other thing. At the same time, you die.
Right.
And I don't remember. But that was like in third grade.
Didn't Kevin James make a whole thing out of that?
Well, that was like his the grown-up movies.
Yeah.
He does this snart thing.
Yeah, he fart, sneeze, and cough at the same time or something.
Something like that, yeah. That was his talent. Yeah.
And yet somehow Kevin James is still with us. That man's been the president. That man was a mall cop. He was the president.
Yeah, that's, that it's funny you mentioned that, but by the way, I like the movie. The Pixels movie I know it's stupid and
You're
cheesy,
the one.
but I weirdly like the movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, the part that's most unbelievable to me is Kevin James is president. Not the Cuber comes from space to want to destroy us. That Kevin James somehow ended up president of the United States.
It was all because of his campaign poster. Him posted up in a kitchen, hands in pockets, just looking all aw shucks. Who wouldn't vote for that?
I mean,
got my vote.
And it's not like if you've seen the movie, then you know that he doesn't play like this leader type. He literally plays like Norm at the bar.
Yeah, he doesn't really, he's not a take charge type of fella.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's
at least not until the end.
So that's the part that bugs me the most. I'm like, no, it's not all the other. Come on.
There's a giant Pac-Man destroying downtown. You're like, but Kevin James, really?
I know.
Paul Blart in the Oval Office,
right? It's like, come on, can't buy this. Yes, I can buy a digitized Qbert and Madonna want to take over the world. This I can't buy.
I just picture Mike in the theater throwing his popcorn, storming out of the.
Now, in all fairness, I saw that at home. I wasn't that crazy.
I didn't pay to see Pixels. So wait a second. That means you heard what everybody had to say about it, and you still were like,
"Oh,
let's give it a shot."
I watched all kinds of bad movies for free on cable.
That's
people.
fair.
I'll say, there's a couple I have still not seen. Barbie movie. I've not seen the Barbie movie.
I haven't actually seen that either, but I've really heard a lot of good things. My kid's pawpaw, who sadly recently passed, he loved that movie.
Did he?
He changed his avatar on HBO Max to Ken.
Wow.
Yeah, he loved that movie.
Each his own, I guess.
That's really saying something. I think that there's some meat on that bone.
Yeah, I've never watched. Oh shoot, there's a movie that's kind of popular now. I haven't watched.
Oppenheimer.
No, I saw that.
Did you watch Oppenheimer?
I did once.
Okay.
I'm good after that.
The obligatory sit-through. I will say, if you go back, and this is, I guess, general knowledge, but if you go back and rewatch something that you loved as a child, first of all, don't do that. Secondly, you're going to be disappointed.
Oh, yeah.
Case in point, I recently watched the movie Last Action Hero, like as an adult. That's a terrible movie. It was my one-seed favorite movie when I was a kid. Well, that and Goofy movie was a tie for first.
You give me crap about Pixels.
I know.
Last Action Hero was panned as a god-awful movie.
Yeah, I know. But when I was a kid, that movie was everything.
Yeah.
Now, bear in mind, I read the book based on the movie also.
Yeah.
I didn't say movie based on the book. I said the book based on the movie.
Like you thought there was a book originally about that movie.
I've talked about this before, too, but I also read the book based on the movie of The Cable Guy.
Cable Guy, yeah. Isn't like Forrest Gump the same way? Or was actually a book?
No, Forrest Gump was a book.
Okay.
Yeah, matter of fact, the original writer of the book was infuriated because so much was changed or left out of the original telling of Forrest
So
Gump.
if you buy the book today with like the movie Forrest Gump on the cover, is it a different version of the book or is it the same book?
It's the same version of the book, so you're getting like
Okay,
a lot
I didn't know
more.
if they.
From what I gather, it's a lot darker than the movie, and there's also a sequel.
Oh.
Yes.
Forrest Gump 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo. I don't think the book was called Forrest Gump. I have to go back and look. Matter of fact, I have the internet in front of me.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to do the rundown so we can get the hour going here. We're going to get you up to date with the weather here in just a minute, and then we're going to replay our interview with Elliot Rodriguez from Loan Depot, joined us earlier in the month, just talking good advice on home, procuring finances for home and all that good stuff. So we'll play the interview for you here in just a few. We'll get you up to date with local news and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show as well, too. So that's the plan.
There you go. I'm trying to find Forrest Gump. Forrest Fumo. My thumbs are stupid. Forrest Gump book. All right. Now, come on, Google. Okay. So it was originally called Forrest Gump. It's a 1986 book written by Winston Groom.
Okay.
And I'm trying to find the sequel. Gump and Co. is the name of the sequel.
Oh.
And it basically continues the story of like the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company and kind of follows Bubba's.
So is the movie both of the books?
No. The movie ends, I think, where the first book ends.
Okay.
I think that the beginning and the end of the... I'd have to go back and rewatch that thing, but the beginning and the end of the book were pretty accurate. It was kind of all that stuff in the middle that Spielberg decided that we're going to change this up a little bit.
Surprised they made a Forrest Gump 2 as a bunch of money as that movie made.
I think
popular.
they tried, they optioned it, but they just kept running into walls and production issues and never were able to get it off the ground.
What could have been.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it is 8:17. Time for your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking pretty good today. Sunshine with a few clouds and a very slight chance of an afternoon shower, mid to upper 90s. Overnight, some clouds and upper 60s, and then we'll have a stationary front setting up over our area on Friday. That'll bring us some showers and thunderstorms, mid to upper 90s on the afternoon high. Saturday, Sunday, and Labor Day, we have chance of showers. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 75 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 52%. Winds are calm at the moment. 97 today and sunny. Winds will be out of the northeast at around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low of 70. West winds at around 5 miles per hour. Then rain chances for the rest, 30% tomorrow, 40% Friday. So, all right, 8:18, quick break, and then our interview with Elliot. Don't go away.
Attention homeowners! Fulkerson Plumbing has an August special that's too important to miss. This month only, take advantage of their whole home plumbing inspection and water heater flush. Now only $149 for homes up to 2 bathrooms and $249 for 3 or more bathrooms. They'll check all the plumbing fixtures for leaks, damage, and corrosion. Plus, offer special repair discounts. Right Fit members save up to 20% while non-members still save 10%. Don't let hard water cause major issues for the plumbing in your home. Protect your investment. Call Fulkerson Plumbing today, 575-221-9772. Drive into the sunset during the end of summer sales event at Roswell Nissan. Now through the end of the month, get 0% APR for up to 60 months on a great selection of vehicles, including all 2025 Nissan Murano, Rogue, and Pathfinder. Find huge savings on the pre-owned lot, too. And every vehicle on the lot has undergone a multi-point inspection, so you can rest assured knowing your next ride is ready for whatever the road of life throws your way. The end of summer sales event on now at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd. Visit Bush Appliance in Roswell to see the Whirlpool washer with 2 ways to wash, thanks to the 2-in-1 removable agitator. With a flexible capacity, so you can take the agitator out for bulky loads or keep it in for items like jeans. Shop now at Bush Appliance in Roswell and get twice the washer that you have at home. Who you gonna call? Bush Appliance in Roswell. Stop by 111 West Country Club in Roswell or call 575-622-6390. When you or a loved one need medical transport, Trans-Aero answers the call. Trans-Aero Medevac operates 3 rotorcraft bases and 1 fixed-wing base in southeastern New Mexico, allowing them to respond quickly to emergencies across diverse terrains. Their fleet extends coverage deep into New Mexico and West Texas, including Artesia, Carlsbad, Roswell, Ruidoso, Midland, Lubbock, and the surrounding areas. Ready to answer the call when every second counts. Trans-Aero Medevac, proudly serving southeastern New Mexico and West Texas. Flown for free, thanks to the partnership from the City of Artesia and Trans-Aero Medevac. Life support by air. Taste the flavors of Thailand and beyond at Lemongrass Restaurant in Roswell. Authentic ingredients like holy basil, Thai chili, and kaffir lime. Original recipes including curry, pad Thai and pad see-ew, and egg drop or tom kha soups. Friendly service, authentic flavors, and
a little or a lot of spice, but everything's nice.
Open 11 to 8, Tuesday through Saturday at 610 South Main in Roswell. Call ahead, 575-208-0411. Lemongrass Restaurant in Roswell. The flavors of Thailand right here at home.
If you plug your nose, you can't tell the difference between an apple, potato, and an onion. Unless you open your eyes. Here's Mike Winters.
This morning from Lone Depot, Elliot Rodriguez back with us for his monthly visit. Good morning, Elliot.
Good morning, Roswell.
How's life at the office this morning?
Busy, getting things going, moving. You know, there's a lot of commotion going on.
Is there a lot of traffic now with buying and selling? Or is it the traffic picking up, I should say, here at your office? Because, I mean, you see it every day. You kind of know when people are coming, if there's more or less people coming across the desks here looking for loans.
I mean, it's kind of weird without being, not being 100%, factual. Okay?
Yeah.
But it's like, I never slow down. My team and I don't slow down.
Sure,
so
you always got a bunch of irons in the fire.
There's always stuff going on, all the time. But I have noticed, and I've been dealing with a lot of new builds and a lot of new people coming out with houses out there.
Sure.
So, and it's normal because when the market starts switching to the positive, to maybe the rates to start going, low. And I'm not saying that the rates dropped yet, but, folks out there, it's getting better, okay?
You're starting to see pieces moving into place that are setting the table to see the rates come down.
So in some levels, the rates are getting better because it's costing less. So in turn, you could go lower on the interest rate at less cost. So in some sense, yes, the rates have gotten better. But the fact of the matter is to get even further, or should I say what is called PERT, it means that you get an interest rate and you don't pay no points or nothing like that. And for those people out there that doesn't know what that means, is discount points when you get the interest rate that you're getting. Sometimes you have to pay a little to try to get to that interest rate, or should I say buy points to go lower. In the end of the day, what we like to see is that, you don't have to pay no points and you're getting a better interest rate. So it's going that direction. So that's the part that's good.
Okay.
Because from last year to, from August last year to today, okay, it's a big switch, okay? So it feels like we went up and down, like we always talk about it.
Right.
And we went already up again as far as to the positive side of things, because it's costing less. So folks out there that are having the itch, if you're ready to buy, don't wait on the rates or nothing like that, because the fact of the matter is
life dictates whether you need a home more than
that is true,
than time or the best rates or the best window to buy. What your life is going to dictate more you need a house. You get married or you have kids or whatever happens. Those are the things in the moment.
That's really truly
I got to buy a house now.
Because at the end of the day, folks, if you're out there and you're thinking, oh, maybe I'm going to wait until the rates really truly drop.
Yeah.
You are missing the bus. Okay. And let me clarify and go a little more deep on that. It's very simple. If you wait for buying time on an interest rate that is lower, the problem that you have with that is very simple. The prices of home is going to continue increasing when it gets cheaper. Okay. And that's a normal thing. All right. So when the rates are higher, the price of homes don't keep increasing. It kind of plateau
a little bit. Yeah.
In that way, people can buy homes. Now, what's happening in the market and the government and everything is going on, or the talk about, the feds in maybe the chairman, stepping off, of the share and stuff like that.
Right.
Obviously that's going to have a big impact of whatever's going to happen, no matter what, in the market itself. Okay. Because it's, like all of us know when Trump was in office before, 4 years ago before, everything he said, is for some crazy reason, it's like was kind of magic.
Sure.
So it was, going positive, and depending on what's happening, then it goes negative. And then the market, he's out of the office, and then the same thing went on, but it went to the negative because, as we all know, anybody that keeps track of, politics, everybody that does something, the other person that comes start turning up whatever he did, and vice versa. It goes both ways. Okay.
Yep.
It's a game of chess going back and forth. So, but.
And we're not invited to that table.
And we are as consumers, they're not even looking at us. The way it feels, all the time.
We're not in the room.
But if you think about it, if you're in the market to buy a house and you're waiting for the market to get into the better interest rate that you're hoping to be, it's a mistake to wait, because then the house that you're going to buy later is going to cost more money probably, okay? And then you lose. And a lot of people, but you just want me to buy a house and then then refinance so you got more business. Yeah, sounds that way, but it's truly not that way. It's just you're part of the game.
Right.
Because I'd rather buy a house and have it, because if you want, this is the other thing that a lot of people don't realize. If you wait for the rates to get better, what if it takes 3 months, 6 months, a year, maybe longer, and it just get a little better as we go? That's it. All right. When it really hits those numbers that everybody thinks, yeah, that's the one I want to buy now.
The home, regardless of when you do it, is an investment back in you, and it's the one investment that truly is that thing, and it's the way to get started in the game. So, okay. You're at a point in your life where you're like, okay, I've got a job, my income level is at the thing, instead of, I'm affording $800 a month for rent or $1,000 for rent right now. Guess what? I can afford a mortgage payment that was probably a little less than that.
Exactly.
And guess what? Every, instead of me paying someone else's, not only mortgage, but also their building up their equity, I can start building my own equity
already from the very beginning.
And so it's that smart thing. So regardless of, okay, but I got to wait for interest rates to drop back to 4% or whatever it is. Like, no, then you're going to be waiting a while. Okay, now's your time. Get in there. All right, you're not going to be able to buy as much house maybe as you anticipated that first time, but you're in the game. And now once you have a seat at the table, then you've got chips, which means you hold on to this, you pay, you build up your equity. Guess what? Now you can move your pile to a bigger house, a bigger asset, a better asset. And guess what? It's a lot easier to do it once you're in the game versus you waited for that interest rate to drop to 4%. Now, oh, by the way, oh yeah, we're going to need this 10%. We're going to need, no, you got a house now. You don't need to, you got actual equity.
Oh, yeah, you're basically literally saying, you know what? Hey, give me a better term. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of people, but I had to pay, closing costs of title again and if that. From my side, I can give you some credits. Okay. Yeah. Obviously, I cannot control title because that's there, and they also give you credit, folks. So wherever we close, go back to that same place. And
so that's what Elliott's talking about when he says, if you need a house, you need a house.
Yeah, get a house now because if you think about it, if it's very simple. If you can afford a home now, when the rates get better, you can afford it even better.
Yep.
Okay. So look at it that way.
Yeah, it's always you're investing back in yourself right now.
And a
it's
lot of people,
just
but I
smart.
have to pay closing costs again. It's like, you know what? I can help with that a little. So that's no problem. But in the end of the day, what everybody's maybe missing is that, hey, rates will be better as soon as they get better. And if it's going to be beneficial to you, then you refinance. See, everybody's getting letters from everywhere. And I love every time somebody sends me a letter saying, hey, it says administrating office, and it says your current loan lender is Loan Depot. I just love this. And I say, you understand that it's not from us, okay?
Right.
You in the game now,
Yeah.
okay? And
they're very good at that.
Oh, they're very good, and even when a person just do an application, I mean, and rules are changing, by the way. So this is the application game. That when I start doing an application for somebody and we ask them if you want to opt out when people stop bothering you, you could do this. Soon it's going to stop that. They cannot do that anymore.
Okay.
So I'm kind of glad that that's happening because it's very annoying.
Sure.
I think everybody should have the right to go and shop from their own lender. But when you're already working, like I don't even want to do it to anybody.
Well,
seriously, unless you come to me asking me, can I get a second opinion?
And let's face it, there's deceptive practice being used to fool people into thinking they're investing into a company that isn't the company that they think they are, and that's false advertising.
But let's put it like this.
Yeah.
And this is 100% a fact.
Yeah.
So let's say, and I hear this all the time because my customers ask me, like, what's this? It's like, I'm like, oh, that's not us. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If it's not my assistant calling you or me, it's not us. It's funny. So and literally, it happens right there in front of me. I'm literally taking an application from an individual, right? And literally seconds after I pull their credit, they're getting a message from one of our competitors.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is so crazy.
I will tell you this. I never got more offers for a loan until the day I signed mine. Next thing you know, everyone was dying to give me money.
A lot of people are like, is that illegal? It's like, well, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I mean, but soon it's not going to be like that anymore.
Good. Because I don't mind, yes, healthy competition, but that's almost predatory is what that is.
It kind of is.
And that's
because
that's
you know what?
right.
They call you, oh, you pre-approved. How do you know I'm pre-approved?
Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know that.
Yeah.
Half of the times that somebody gets a phone call and I'm actually working with them, they're not even pre-approved yet.
Sure.
Okay? I'm literally just putting it together, and they're just finding out what maybe they can buy, and somebody's already reaching out to them telling them, you pre-approved. It's like, pre-approved with what?
and even for to a lesser extent, credit cards that do that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't realize that that's also, not only the predatory
Insurance.
thing, but they literally will sometimes give credit cards to people who have no business getting credit cards because they've already maxed out because they keep filling those things out, and they're destroying their own credit. And look, people are responsible for their own stupidity, but there are some people that are literally not taught finances and think they're doing a good thing and doing something dumb. And I'm sorry, to take advantage of people like that in that fashion is not right as a big business.
Oh, it's so distinctive. I mean, it's so wrong in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. But it is the game, and
Absolutely.
it is the way it's set up. Obviously, rules
I'm
are
all
going to
for
be
personal responsibility,
Yeah,
but
rules are changing, so it may not be as bad anymore like that.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something. I have customers sometimes that I'm actually working and helping them repair their credit to be able to buy a house, and they're still getting a phone call saying you pre-approved. It's like, pre-approved of what?
Well, and as your credit gets better, more people want to dip into that. They want to get your money.
Yes.
That's the thing, and is to have good credit does take discipline, because it's not so much if you do it right. Really, you got to say no sometimes.
But
That's the biggest thing.
It happens on everything.
Yeah.
House insurance, when you buy a car, a credit card, you start getting tons of traffic in the mail. Like, you approved to this. Like, okay, I'm approved to what? I mean, that's just crazy. You remember when you get those VA pre-approval?
Oh, yeah.
You're pre-approved to this amount of money. It's like, how do you even know if I can even afford that much?
Right. According to them, I could literally buy Trump Palace and afford that on my VA loan.
Go and hang with Trump and his friends.
I got my little Mar-a-Lago thanks to my VA loan.
Let me buy one of those. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? But it's very interesting the way the market works.
Sure.
Folks, don't be afraid of any of that crap.
Yeah.
If you're in the market to buy a home, okay, at Loan Depot, your lender of choice, home means everything. It means I'm going to help you deliver a home into your hands.
Sure.
It's what I do. I don't have any other agenda.
And then part of it, like you said, sometimes for first-time buyers is literally being that financial Sherpa, how to balance the budget, how to make sure that the lines match at the end of the month here. And the balances and the expenses, incomes match.
And don't put yourself in a bad position. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, folks, okay? If you haven't bought a home for whatever reason, good credit, bad credit, you maybe don't think you can buy a house, you don't have enough money in the bank. I mean, there's a lot of reasons for people not buying a home, okay? Or you just nice and comfortable and you don't want to have a mortgage. I understand that 100%. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because if my mama and daddy was here and I was staying with them and I'm taking care of everything, that's a different story. I like, sure. But, folks, if you're in those different scenarios, but you really want to have your own home, or you need to have your own home, I mean, there's so many different,
I'm thinking, like,
don't be afraid of it, because if you do, again, the boss is going to leave you behind. Okay,
absolutely. Like if I would have do it over again, I would have, instead of doing what most people do, meet the girl and live life and then buy the home.
Well, I just buy it before you even.
As soon as I'm in high school, college, whenever I've got any kind of income coming in, I'm trying to buy a house. I don't care if it's a dump. What that would be if I saw myself, that's what I tell myself.
So there's been this talk back and forth about this new generation, like, oh my God, what's going to happen to our country? I'm seeing a little shift. Okay, I'm seeing young men and women buying homes before they even get married.
Yeah.
Okay, which I believe is very smart. It's exactly what you're talking about. Okay, because if you can afford a home before you even marry,
right?
Okay. And then when you find your significant other that is going to be your forever, person in your life, I mean, that is a great thing, because now you can join resources and now you're in a better position.
Sure.
Instead of just already together and pushing the limits.
And I would make an argument, too, that location's the big thing in this. Yes. And what I mean by that is, because if you all are on social media and everything, you hear there is a constant thing saying, young people say, well, we can't go buy a house like you could when you were our age and all this stuff. And I'm like, yes, you can. Now, if you live in New York City or Washington, D.C. or someplace like that, you're going to have a difficult time getting by on that. But anywhere else in the that isn't a major, and people are like, well, that's where the jobs are. Not necessarily. I'm just saying.
I see it every day.
There's a lot of millionaires floating around out here that, you know what I mean? It's just
the best way I can.
That's part of it.
You're right.
Pick a place that the housing is affordable, that you can get more bang for your buck.
The best way I can put it is like this.
Yeah.
If a person that works on McDonald's, Burger King, or any of those, small business, well, they're not small businesses, but like regular jobs that are not a big career jobs yet, per se. It means you haven't found your niche. You haven't finished school, whatever, but that's what you're doing now.
Right.
I help people buy houses even at those levels of income.
Sure.
Okay? Plus remember, income have changed as well. Homes are changing and the prices are changing and the rents are changing to the more expensive. When you start seeing rent is becoming more expensive, what do you think is going to happen when the market gets even better? It's going to continue going up.
It's supply and demand.
And then what happens to the houses? Yeah. Then the houses are more expensive as well. So it's an animal that you cannot control. It's coming.
Yep.
It's gonna happen. And everybody keeps talking about the refi. The refi boom is coming. You know what? I get it. And I'm all about doing refinance and helping people. If it's gonna benefit you, let's go talk about it.
Sure.
If you're getting divorced or something like that, or if you need to send your kid to college and you have a bunch of equity, but you don't know where to get the money and you maybe don't qualify for a regular loan. But I would think if you qualify for a mortgage, you probably qualify for a loan for your kid. But if you want something that the interest rate is a little less than some of those loans, just let us know. We'll help you.
Not all of us were lucky to get pre-COVID rates and things, and you got some of them, and if you got these
it's the way it is,
And so if they got one of these higher ones, you're like, hey, that's a full point lower than what mine paying now, then that's worth it.
And then the other thing is this, folks. If there's quinceañeras or all kinds of reasons why people need to touch their equity, and the fact of the matter is there's millions and millions of dollars right now on equity on homes. You know, so in other words, throughout the years, through COVID and everything that's been going on, people to certain level had done pretty well because there's a lot of equity in homes out there right now.
Yep.
You know, if you go and Google it, it's all the information is out there. Why? Because all this information is public. Okay, people buy houses.
That's just why we tell you buy a house as soon as you can.
Yeah, because the longer you have it, the more equity you have.
Unless you bought a really, really, really bad house, they're always worth more than what you bought.
And to be honest, the only way you can do that if you do a loan without dealing with a title company and a lender.
Because they would have caught all them red flags.
Because we'll catch up with that. We will not give you money for a house that is not worth what it's worth. Okay?
Yeah, like if you remember, now this is date myself, but if you remember the old Money Pit movie, The Money Pit with Tom Hanks and Shelley Long, they buy the house. It's the, you know.
I love that movie.
Yeah, there's no way that's going to happen unless you paid cash for that house or got it. You know what I mean? But if you got a loan for that house, there's no way that would have happened.
Folks, watch that movie because it's funny.
Yeah.
But don't watch it if you're buying a house, probably.
Yeah, it might be.
It might scare the heck out of you.
Might create some stress.
But if you have insurance and you have home warranty, if you see in the end the house is beautiful in the end, by the way.
Oh yeah,
it's a funny, very crazy, situation, but it's a very interesting.
Well, it's a comedy.
Approach.
It's over the top.
Yeah. It's over the top, but the only way you could get the house back to normal because you got insurance and you got freaking warranties. Okay, so by the way,
that's why you pay all.
That's why you pay all the stuff for it.
That's exactly why it's there. But
I love that movie.
Yeah,
especially when the top goes to the ceiling.
Yes,
oh,
I haven't seen it. It's been a minute since I've seen that movie.
Now that you bring it up, I might just watch it.
I have to go. I wonder if it's on like Freevee or one of these Tubi or one of these.
No, but you know what?
Free ones.
It's probably available out there. Anyway,
I would think.
Because in the end of the day, that's a really funny movie.
It is a pretty good movie.
It's a very good movie.
Early Tom Hanks is good stuff.
Yeah, and if you're in the market, don't be afraid of that stuff. Don't worry about what's happening. The things are getting better. Okay, so that's a positive. Okay. When's the last time you heard me? Things are getting better. Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. All right. So
and that's the thing about the house buying. You know, you got to think of the big picture. And that's what it is. You're taking the steps for the big picture. You know, yes. Right now, maybe everything in life is not set up for this house, or you can't. But you're in the game. You're getting that first house. You're learning your mistakes as a homeowner.
Yes.
Guess what? If you're going to do a little own renovation stuff, I ain't going to lie. I want to screw up my first house, not the one that I paid a lot more money for. You know what I mean? Like,
and folks,
I want to learn my carpentry mistakes or my whatever home improvement mistakes on that house.
And guys, we talked about this before, and I know there's a lot of folks out there still dealing from the flood stuff before. And remember, we just rained not too long ago, and some people still got flooded again.
Absolutely.
You know, if you need help to do renovation on a home, okay, I'm still here. My team is here, okay? It's 5 of us, folks, okay? So we are ready to help you. 203K loans are loans to give you the money to repair your home. You have 2 choices. Purchase a home to a 203K, you could fix the house that you want to buy.
Okay.
So that means if you're in the neighborhood and you see the house that you want, it's closer to your mother, to your brother or whatever, and you want to be in the area, but the house don't look very good,
you could roll it over.
Don't worry about it. Hey, let's fix it up. You can still buy it.
Okay.
If you have a home that is been, older and you need some help to fix it up, or you got flooded or something like that, and you haven't done anything, and the city hasn't condemned you.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's happening, folks. If that's the case, we could still also fix those for you. Okay. So there is still hope out there. Don't be afraid or any of that stuff.
All the FEMA stuff's exhausted and everything else. And
because
some people pay for whatever you got to pay
help,
for.
Some people didn't get help.
Yeah. Or didn't get enough help. Like maybe it paid for some of it, but didn't pay for all of it.
And that's true.
Yeah.
And remember, all the people that came into town that came in and say, "Hey, I can take care of you," and then bye-bye, they disappear.
Fly by night.
Yeah. And that happened to some folks because I deal with some of them. And the fact of the matter is, folks, there are programs to help you. And
absolutely.
I know we have it could go back and forth saying, oh, our contractors are not best in the world. We do have a lot of good contractors in town, just the same.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The thing is and just, cursory right off the bat is you need to see their city, their licensed to operate in the city and all that.
Here.
Because that's bare bones. If they don't have that, that's a big red flag. Close the door on them. Have a nice day.
And folks,
if they can't meet you with that bare minimum, then close the door.
If they don't have
away.
license and they don't have insurance or something like that, you may not want that individual. Now if it's the folks or friends, that you guys help each other, that's a different story.
Well, that's between you and your friends and your relationship, and you got to deal with the repercussions.
But be
of
careful,
that if it doesn't go
the people that you choose, they need to be.
Those people end up on Judge Judy all the time. That's all I'm saying.
You know what is bad? There used to be a show for the contractors that did bad to people. Remember?
Right? Oh yeah.
Oh my God! I mean, and the things that they do to people. And I love how the guy will bring him to the show and call him out on on national TV. It's like,
but I know half the time it's usually like my brother's friend or something. It's always one of those guys that did it, and But
no, I mean, folks, there's stuff happening. If you're looking for new homes, let me put a quote on something that I'm actually dealing with right now. Me and my team, we are involved in helping people buy the homes over there in Onyx. Okay. That is the new program with El Toro, project over there. Homes are coming up. They're going to be about 38 and another segment of 60 homes afterwards.
Okay.
Okay. So that's plenty of homes for everybody in town that, is looking for brand new homes.
What's the square footage average on some of those?
I believe they're like between $1,500 to $1,800. I mean, 1,800
square feet. So they're probably what, 2-3 bedroom.
Mm-hmm. And I should be getting some stuff that I'm going to post pretty soon to help them out to kind of put it out there.
Those are perfectly probably first family homes.
And it's MFA approved.
Okay. Very good.
And the builder and I went together and went to MFA, and we actually increased the income limits just the same.
Okay.
So we can do all the programs as well.
Perfect for those families.
And those are brand new homes.
Yeah.
Just brand new homes. Brand new.
You don't get many chances.
If everybody's like, where's my brand new home? There's some over there.
I never bought a brand new home yet. My parents did. I've never bought one.
I built a house once. I mean, it's a fun project to do.
Yeah.
I was probably one of those crazy buyers that I was there like every week.
Micromanaging everything.
They probably hated me, but I was actually nice. I tried to get away. I started to get
as long as you weren't making up facts like, are those
no,
those 4-bys or 2-bys? You know what I mean? Just making up words. Is that congruent with the
but folks, if you don't have the money to buy a home, that doesn't mean you cannot buy a house.
Correct.
I got programs. Okay, we have our own program. With the feds. It's called Access Zero. All right, and that is a big deal because I can give you up to 5% of the sales price of every home you buy for the down payment and some closing costs. If you do the right negotiation to the seller that is you're dealing with, you very little good chance, or should I say a big chance, because I do it all the time. You may not even have to bring that much money to the table because we are giving you the assistance.
Gotcha.
Then you still have the New Mexico MFA program with the New Mexico housing. That is a huge, program that I do all the time. And that program is actually involved with that project over there in El Toro.
Okay.
Because they actually, invested money into that program, that project to make sure the people in Roswell actually get homes.
Okay.
Brand new homes. Okay. This is the big deal.
Sure.
Okay. But brand new homes, getting a builder that was like willing not to go too expensive. Okay. And I know everybody's thinking, what is too expensive means to you, Elliot? The fact of the matter is everything that is being new out there, and they're very expensive. We're talking about $350,000 or higher or whatever. These homes are a little under $300,000, depending on which one you choose. And soon we're going to have some open houses. That they're going to be showing some of them. So agents that are there, you're looking for new houses for your buyers.
Absolutely.
There's going to be houses over there, brand new. Okay.
Great.
And a little more affordable, if you may. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like a good family home. Good,
And they
sounds like 2-3 bedroom homes.
Well, they're energy efficient houses too.
Which anytime that's the advantage is you're going to see your utility bills. I'm going to assume they're all electric. They're going to probably be
electric. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to assume so I'm going to assume you probably see your electric bill be a little more cost efficient on that, and because they got better SEER ratings on the air units.
I know.
Better window
I went
ceilings
to their module that they have, and like, the bill last month it was like $25. Like, say what? Because a home that is empty, it costs more to keep it.
And they probably install them with better technology thermometers and thermostats, so you can set timers and everything on them. So you can turn it up when you're gone, and it goes down when you come home, and all that other stuff.
But I'm gonna be posting some stuff for that, and my team is gonna be doing just that the same.
Well, oh shoot, we gotta go. I just all the time.
Yes, sir.
But of course, if you're ready to have a conversation, talk about it, or like I said, if especially that first time, it's like, if you think you don't, let's come and let's talk first.
Yeah.
You might be surprised what you think you can do.
Like I said, there's programs out there to help you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you've been paying rent and doing all, let's invest back in you and yourself and your family. And that's exactly what you're doing by home ownership.
And
so let's start that.
And you don't have to be a brand new buyer either. So you don't have to be a first-time home buyer to be able to qualify for some of these programs.
Oh, yeah, there's like second-time home buyers or based on...
So you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
If you haven't planned enough, and you maybe don't even want to get rid of the house you have, and you maybe want to put yourself in a higher level.
Sure.
And you want to rent your house and maybe buy a new one.
Maybe you want to be that...
I got the programs for that just the same.
Investment properties.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
you'll be surprised all the things that people can do. You just have to ask.
Or if you're going to, say, buy a new home for yourself and turn your old home into the investment property.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And I did that a bunch of times throughout the years.
Absolutely. So. That's I imagine that's how rental property people get into those. If for home rentals, that's probably how most of them started. Is they sold their old or kept their old home and turned around and rent it when they bought their next one, and then it started from there.
To make it easy.
Yeah, like I lived in this one for a year and then I sold it. Now it's no rental. And this one.
Well, the other thing is this: you could use. If you're going to buy a rental property, you could use the income that you're going to generate to be able to buy that house.
Absolutely.
So it's not like, oh my God, I need to be rich and have a bunch of money.
If you do it right, it's your money making itself and working for itself.
Oh, yeah, there's so many things that my team and I are going to be putting out there in the next couple of weeks. It's powerful.
It's a great way to earn income, but you got to do it right.
You got to do it right.
It's the right properties, the right payments, the right questions. If you do it, then it's amazing. If you do those wrong, then it's a headache and a nightmare, and you end up being a landlord and not a investment person.
Call me because it don't cost you a penny to call me and ask me.
Absolutely. Reach out.
You'll be very surprised.
Call him direct on his cell, 719-237-4680. Again, 719-237-4680. You can call the office here in Roswell. It's a 505 number, but it'll ring to the Roswell office here.
Correct.
505-445-2070. Again, 505-445-2070. Or come by the office, 204 West 2nd, right over here, Suite 5. And come meet the team. Come meet not only Elliot, but his protégés over there too, and his partners as well. He's got one or two people over there that are almost as seasoned as. No,
they're getting going. And they're ready to go and help you out. Okay?
Absolutely, they're ready to and let's go. And there is a difference when you have people that are really willing to walk through the process with you and look at you as a human and a family and not look at you as a goal at the end of the month, but as a customer for life, then you see the difference there, and that's what.
Yeah, because that's what I look for.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of people ask me, "How do you do what you do?" It's like one thing at a time, because it's impossible because there's so many coming through.
And you can tell the difference between people trying to hit a number at the end of the month versus people that are trying to earn business.
I mean,
and everything.
if you don't have no goals, why are you even doing it? Let's be honest. Okay?
Exactly.
But no, we're here to take care of you. Okay. I deeply get it inside of me every single time I help somebody. I think it's a freaking awesome. Okay.
That's your rush. Your high.
It's my high. Yeah. Okay. Because I don't really care how big or small the loan is. It's about taking care of the customer.
It's the what it means to the person you help. That
I think it's awesome.
Yep.
When I take those pictures and they're smiling and this and that, I think it's the coolest thing ever.
Because it's the biggest moment in their life.
Yeah, it really is.
You're a part of that, and you're pretty happy about that.
Mm-hmm. It's the coolest thing.
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time, and don't work too hard, and stay cool. It's still like mid-90s.
Yeah, it's still kind of warm.
Still kind of warm.
Yeah,
so it's not
and
fall
the weather
yet.
goes a little crazy once in a while. So
it's next week. It'll be 100. Next week after that, it'll be snowing. Watch. So, thank you, Elliot.
Thank you for.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Pioneer Bank informing RPD that the bank has seen many cases recently in which customers have been scammed or have been targets of attempted scammers. Customers receiving phone calls telling them there are fraudulent charges on their debit cards, and in order to receive a credit, they have to pay a fee to have the charges reversed. In at least one case, one bank customer was instructed to place money into a Bitcoin machine. Pioneer Bank never requests any customers place any funds into Bitcoin machines. In some cases, the fraudsters have coached bank customers in lying to tellers about why they're getting the funds from their bank account. Pioneer Bank is ready to help the customer avoid being scammed, but the customer must be honest, and they need not be embarrassed when a teller questions the reason for a large withdrawal. If watching airplanes race each other isn't exciting enough for you, well, try jumping out of one. As part of the fun during the National Championship air races, you can skydive at the Artesia Airport. Slots for skydiving are available September 9th through 14th. Openings are available each day between 6 a.m. and 5 p.m. Just register at Skydive New Mexico's website. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Things are starting to happen in the volleyball world. The volleyball season is just getting going. Roswell is 1-1 after sweeping Lovington on Tuesday night. 3-0 close sets, 25-23, 25-16, 26-24. Goddard, by the way, their first match isn't going to be until next Tuesday. They'll visit Gadsden in Anthony, a 6 o'clock start, but Dexter and NMMI have both started. In fact, both teams are 3-0 already. Dexter, over this past weekend, defeated Dora, Cuba, and Tucumcari. They will play host to Loving this Saturday at 1 o'clock. Meanwhile, NMMI defeated Jal Tuesday night 3-1. The Colts are 3-0 on the season. That game was at Jal, by the way. They'll be at Hondo next Tuesday at 5. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking pretty good today. Sunshine with a few clouds and a very slight chance of an afternoon shower, mid to upper 90s. Overnight, some clouds and upper 60s, and then we'll have a stationary front setting up over our area on Friday. That'll bring us some showers and thunderstorms, mid to upper 90s on the afternoon high. Saturday, Sunday, and Labor Day, we have chance of showers. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
Good morning. The earnings report Wall Street was waiting for from NVIDIA, AI and computer chips, came in better than expected. And revenue from NVIDIA's data center business was up 56%. More new economic data reports are coming out today and tomorrow. President Trump's new 50% tariffs on imports from India are now in effect. Imports from India range from pharmaceuticals to textiles and jewelry. Trump wants India to stop buying oil from Russia, and ExxonMobil may be allowed to go back into Russia if that would help convince Russia to end the war. Tariffs on imported furniture may be coming this fall. Wayfair Online and possibly other furniture sellers will be running Labor Day weekend sales. A report says some recent college graduates are living back at home with their parents to save money while they still look for a job, and some are landing remote work projects while they look. Brand reputation experts say Cracker Barrel had no choice. They had to go back to their old logo because it's very tricky to be a brand for everyone these days because you have to balance what's cherished and marry it with what's new. Not easy. With business, I'm Joe Connolly.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report. Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Building Bridges, that which unites us. A thought-provoking new podcast series hosted by Michael Hirschman, CEO of Soloviev Group.
I'm Michael Hirschman. Join me as I tackle vital national topics that affect the man on the street to the executive suite with unscripted, authentic perspectives that spark in-depth discussions with experts in the field.
Go to buildingbridges.nyc to watch episodes or download wherever you get your podcasts.
Join Hot New Country 92.9 The Brand and La Pantera 106.1 FM for a special live broadcast this Saturday from 10 to 1 at Roswell Nissan. Summer's coming to an end, and Roswell Nissan wants to get you road ready for fall with the Upside Down $1 down used car blowout with huge savings on Pathfinder, Murano, and Rogue. Savings on the pre-owned lot and so much more. We'll be on hand with hot dogs, hot off the grill, and ice-cold Pepsi products, and maybe even a few surprises. See you Saturday 10 to 1 at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
Unity is the central theme throughout the Bible. It reflects God's desire for harmony among His people. From the beginning, humanity was created for relationship with God and with one another. Sin fractured that unity. but God's redemptive plan through Jesus restores it. In the New Testament, unity is especially emphasized with the church. Jesus prayed for his followers to be one, just as he and the Father are. This unity serves as a testimony to the world of God's love and his truth. The Apostle Paul, particularly in passages like Ephesians 4, teaches that believers must strive to maintain unity through humility, patience, love, and the guidance of the Holy Spirit. Unity is not uniformity, but harmony of diverse gifts, backgrounds, and callings, all working together for God's glory. Biblical unity reflects God's nature, relational, loving, and holy. It's a sign of spiritual maturity and a witness to a divided world of the power of the gospel.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Attention high school students and parents. Now is the time to make your plans to come visit the most affordable university in the Southwest, Eastern New Mexico University. ENMU is hosting our annual high school open house preview day on Saturday, October 18th. Come learn about scholarships, discover majors, talk with current students and faculty, and win some great prizes. Sign up today at enmu.edu/open house. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success. That's what we're about.
Chris DeGaulle is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
And we're closing in on 9 o'clock. Town Hall News is up next. We will be back on the other side of news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. A Miami federal judge is refusing to halt closure of the Alligator Alcatraz Immigration Detention Center in the Florida Everglades. The government had hoped to keep it open while it appeals an earlier ruling against the facility. At a vigil last evening, mourners wept and prayed for the victims of the church school shooting in Minneapolis. 2 children killed, 17 people wounded in the attack on a chapel at Annunciation Catholic School. Archbishop Bernard Hebda says he found hope in the actions of the children as bullets shattered the stained glass window.
The young children spoke about how their classmates or the other students in the school were so attentive to their needs and even tried to shield them at those moments of greatest need.
The gunman died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser says carjackings in D.C. have plunged 87% since President Trump's crackdown on crime was launched. How's that crackdown being received by the public?
A poll from the Associated Press Nork Center for Public Affairs Research shows 81% of Americans see crime as a major problem in large cities. Slightly more than half of U.S. adults say they approve of the president's handling of crime. But the poll shows there is less public support for federal takeovers of local police departments. Trump has deployed the National Guard to the District of Columbia and has threatened to expand that model to other cities across the country. The poll also shows Trump's overall approval rating has increased to 45% now. Mike Hemp in Washington.
France, Germany, and the United Kingdom have started a process to reimpose UN sanctions on Iran over its nuclear program. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 102 points, NASDAQ up 77. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Ukraine's struggling troops continue losing ground to the Russians.
A Ukrainian military official says Russia's invading forces have entered an 8th region of Ukraine, seeking to capture more ground in their 3-year war of attrition as US-led peace efforts struggle to gain traction. A Ukraine spokesman for local ground forces tells the AP some Russian troops have entered 2 villages in the eastern Dnipropetrovsk region, a major Ukrainian industrial center next to Donetsk, where fierce fighting has been taking place. Ukrainian troops are under severe strain as they try to hold back Russia's bigger army. I'm Charles Villadesma.
North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un will make a rare trip abroad next week. He'll attend a military parade in the Chinese capital. That according to North Korean state media. China will hold the parade Wednesday to mark the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. The official Xinhua news agency says 26 foreign leaders will be attending. News and analysis, townhall.com. There is concern about artificial intelligence and people considering suicide.
A study finds that AI chatbots often avoid answering high-risk suicide questions but are inconsistent with less direct prompts. Published Tuesday in the journal Psychiatric Services, the study highlights the need for improvement in chatbots like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. Researchers from RAND Corporation emphasize the importance of setting benchmarks for how AI handles mental health queries. Concerns arise as more people, including children, rely on these tools for support. Keith Peters, Washington.
Japan's top trade bargainer has abruptly called off a visit to Washington. It was aimed at issuing a joint statement on a tariffs deal with the Trump administration. A top government spokesman says a trade envoy decided to cancel the trip because some details require further discussion. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The demolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Indeed.
Hope your Thursday's going just well.
So happy it's Thursday.
Yeah, sure happy it's Thursday.
Big old dose. However you feel. Sure happy, so happy.
Well, it's to have TGIF.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have sure happy it's Thursday.
Yeah. Absolutely. In order to get to TGIF, you gotta wade through a mile-long tube of So Happy It's Thursday.
That's right.
To come out clean on the other side.
That's right.
Say what the nail.
Always back to the Shawshank.
It's a comfortable. It's a safe place to be.
You ever actually read the short story?
No, I've heard it's decent, but I've never actually done it.
Yeah, it's a Stephen King
trilogy, right?
Yeah, it's part of a short stories deal called Different Seasons, I think is what it's called. And matter of fact, there's several of his short stories that were turned into movies. The Shawshank Redemption's called Rita Hayworth at Shawshank. That's the name of the story. And Apt Pupil, if you remember that movie, that's one of the books as well. Stand By Me, that's also one of the short stories.
It's funny thinking
called
about
The Body.
Right. It's funny thinking about Stephen King writing short stories, considering if you've ever seen the book for like Misery,
The Stand,
It, they're all like that thick.
Well,
the Green Mile, remember it came out in, like when it originally was released, it came out in like 3 or 4 different
volumes,
books.
Yeah.
And then I think now if you buy it, it comes as one big book. But I remember he released it like chapters at a time. Yeah. It was so
and we all know how hard it is to finish a book. George R.R. Martin.
He's just busy up in Santa Fe trampoline.
He's hanging out, tramping it up.
Just a guy in a beard with a robe on a trampoline. Squat older man with a beard on the trampoline. And for some reason, a lot of fudge.
Yeah, plenty of fudge. I was weirdly obsessed with... So there's an obscure sport that you can find kind of online and some other places.
Is it an obscure sports weekly?
It is an obscure sports weekly. It's called Tramp Wall.
Tramp Wall.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a lot less dirty than you're expecting.
It sounds wholesome.
Basically, and you've probably seen these online, there's these 10-foot high walls.
Okay.
And these dudes jump, and some ladies jump off these trampolines, or off these platforms onto these trampolines that are like 10 feet down, and they do these insane flip tricks, like 6 or 7 back flips and all these like it's super fun to watch.
So it's like a Globetrotters of trampoline?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Like these dudes, I mean, they do some insane things. There's like a whole thing where like one guy's jumping on like the world's smallest trampoline, and it's like that big with like springs that stretch all the way out. And
is this like the new version of like
the dudes jumping into the barrel of water?
Or the God Power team? Like they used to show up in high schools and do the God Power. Like,
don't
is this
even
the new?
Get me started on the power team, sir.
But I'm just saying, this feels like that's.
It's a
God's
spectator
Power
sport.
Team 2025.
For sure, it's a spectator sport. But there's one moment that I decided, and this is about 4 or 5 months ago, I will never watch Tramp Wall again.
You've been traumatized by Tramp Wall?
I saw what can only be described as the worst landing possible on a trampoline.
Uh-oh.
Somebody, I guess, overshot a backflip, and the way they landed, they turned themselves into a C backwards.
Ooh.
Yeah. I didn't even know the human spine could do that.
I don't think it can.
But he kicked himself in the back of the head, like with his own feet. It was
wow.
And I watched that scene, and it was one of those. Oh,
was he okay?
I don't know. I turned it off.
Oh, you didn't? I gotta know.
I found the I think he was fine because I mean he stood up after that. But,
okay.
But I was just like, oh, I can't see someone shatter themselves like. And then because I tend to equate it with myself. Like when I see somebody else hurt themselves, I see myself doing that. And so now I personally am terrified of trampolines. Like my kids want to go to a trampoline park. There's one in Hobb. There's a couple other ones around, and they really want to go. I'm like, it's fine, but I'm just going to sit there. The only thing I want to do is jump in a foam pit. Beyond that, it's all on you.
Maybe you
guys.
need to overcome this fear and bounce on a trampoline.
I'm scared, dude. I've seen a lot of people. I mean, and ever since then, now I'm getting served. Thank you, algorithm. Trampoline injury videos. So I'm like, whenever I see a tramp wall or any kind of tramp, I just will move on from the video.
Well, here's the first tip. Stick to the tramp basics. Up, down.
Yeah.
Upright, maybe occasional seat drop. Don't be trying to ninja flip from one to the other or off wall tramp. We can't do these things normally.
Right.
The aid of a trampoline is not going to help us. We are men in our 40s and 50s. We don't do these things anymore.
I can't take a step up a flight of stairs without experiencing pain now.
Just keep it simple.
And that's new. That's like this week.
Just get in your socks and stay in the little square.
These $27 socks that I'm renting.
And you overcome this fear.
Yeah. Well, the basic stuff, I'm sure I'll be fine. I can stand on it or sit on a trampoline, no problem. It's the idea of one wrong landing and I'm rolling my ankle or I'm completely ripping out my meniscus.
Well, guess what? One could do this literally walking down the stairs, leaving the building, walking from here to your office.
But it's a lot less likely. I recently rewatched that scene from the movie The Comebacks with the character Asil Tari.
Yeah.
The whole scene where he's coming off the field. First he gets hit by a bus, and then he gets like trampled by I think like a marching band.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember what else happens. But then there's a squirrel on the field, and the squirrel drops its acorn, and he steps on the acorn, and the way his leg snaps in the movie and the sound that they use is so graphic. I'm like, oh God. It's just I think how they said they make it is they break spaghetti is how they make the sound of bones cracking and snapping. I've always been obsessed with Foley, but the sound that they use of that leg snapping is just, it's so visceral.
It's leaving a audible mark in your
eats
brain.
at your soul. I'm surprised that nobody's done that yet, because I mean, ASMR, it's not as big of a thing as it used to be, but it's still a big deal online. How has nobody made an ASMR horror movie where it's just up close, but the sounds of a horror movie?
I bet one exists.
There's got to be one out there.
I'm sure there one exists. It just hasn't hit a popularity level of where everyone knows about
Just because you don't know about it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
So hold my beer. The internet will prove us different. But
okay.
Find one?
There's a movie called Tingle Monsters.
There you go.
That sounds awful.
Sounds like a cult.
I'm going to avoid Tingle Monsters.
Tingle Monsters.
Tingle Monsters, yes.
Yeah, that sounds like... I feel like that involves a password and a secret handshake.
Did you find this on the dark web?
Probably. Oh, man.
But I digress.
It is 15 minutes after 9. Let me give you the rundown.
Oh, yeah.
Right, quick. We're going to get you up to date with the weather in just mere minutes. Then after that, we're going to play our interview we had earlier in the month with Matt Bristol, attorney at law with Bristol Law Office. And he joins us each month to just talk about, family legal advice to business legal advice.
He's always got a base topic. Like, what was your topic of discussion this time? Do you remember?
I think it was... No, I don't remember.
All right. Bankruptcy is a big deal over the last couple of weeks. I've been hearing a lot of severe uptick in bankruptcy filings. So if you're looking to file your bankruptcy, Matt Bristol.
There you go.
He's the man.
There you go. Well, be honest, listen to his conversations, and then you won't get to that part. That's the idea.
Yeah, that's the hope.
By the way, I want to bring that back. The people that put an R on the end of the word idea.
Idea?
Yeah. Like, one of the more famous ones was the Dad on American Choppers. Remember that show when it was in its big day?
I got a lot of ideas.
He said idea a lot.
I think that's just a regional thing, though.
Could be. New York, maybe.
Like, if you ever seen the Netflix documentary, The Voyeur, the one about the Colorado hotel where the guy... Okay, so there's a hotel in Colorado.
So I've seen a lot of these, and some of them start to bleed together, so I'm not sure if I've seen that one.
It's since been shut down, but it's got a crawl space inside this hotel, and this guy who ran the hotel was like
I remember
going into
that.
these crawl spaces for hours on end.
It was like a roadside motel, right? Yeah.
But over and over again, he says the word winder.
Winder.
He's like, I saw her from outside the winder. And to a point where that's like, by the end of the movie, you're just like, oh, please stop saying it that way. I looked out the winder. Dude, now you're doing it on purpose.
He is a peeping Tom.
You would think as a peeping Tom, you would learn the proper use of the word window.
Come through my winder.
Winder. He'd say sometimes I'd look at him through vents, and then in one room I had a two-way mirror, which worked for me as a little winder.
Now I am full victim. If you catch me in my normal Marylandisms just talking, I'll say window.
Yeah. Oh, window.
Yeah.
I've done that. I've done that on a time or two. But you also say Aiton.
I throw a lot of words in there. Part of it is intentional, part not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know at this point. It just amalgamizes into one thing.
Dude, same. Like sometimes I think I just started saying this to make it sound cool or different, and then that just became my way of saying a thing.
And then like sometimes I'll secretly be making fun of people who say things wrong, and then I just start saying it that way. Like for years, I had a friend that could not say Annapolis, Maryland.
Really?
They kept saying Annapolis.
Annapolis.
So for a minute there, I was like, hey, let's go to Annapolis. And everyone was like, why do you keep... Sorry, as a guy, I know. And
I'll give you a prime example for me. And I really didn't catch it for myself until I heard somebody else do it.
Yeah.
I was watching Better Call Saul, and the character Huel, when he leaves, he goes, "Be seeing ya." And that's how I wrap up every day on the country stations.
Yeah.
Till next time, be seeing ya.
Yeah.
But if you really think about that as a phrase, it makes very little sense.
Yeah.
I'm completely eliminating the word owl.
Yeah.
And then it's just be seeing ya.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
we
know,
all evolve.
it's basically you took see ya and you made it more complicated. It's just see ya with more steps.
Yeah.
And that just became the way I say it now.
Well, you also put your stank on it. Like,
Little stank, little stank.
like a drawer. Like, this is my signature.
That's
my
right.
stank.
That's right.
Yeah. You know, it's the grease man's AMF.
Yeah.
All over. You know.
Only a lot less insensitive. A lot less offensive.
It's adios, my friends. It's fine.
Waddle doodle.
Waddle doodle to you too. AMF. All right, it is 9:19. Let's get you up to date on the weather. Now I got Grease Man like, Danang, 1968. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We're looking pretty good today. Sunshine with a few clouds and a very slight chance of an afternoon shower, mid to upper 90s. Overnight, some clouds and upper 60s, and then we'll have a stationary front setting up over our area on Friday. That'll bring us some showers and thunderstorms, mid to upper 90s on the afternoon high. Saturday, Sunday, and Labor Day, we have chance of showers. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 80 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 45%. Winds are currently out of the northwest at 3 miles per hour. Going to be a warm one today. Sunny skies. 97 are expected high today. Winds will be out of the northwest at around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Overnight low of 70. West winds at around 5 miles per hour. And then Friday begins rain chances. They increase as the Labor Day weekend progresses. But for Friday, we're looking at a 30% chance at afternoon showers. Mostly sunny, 93 for a high with north winds at around 5 miles per hour. Friday night, our chance of rain bumps up to 40%. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 68 degrees. West winds at around 5 miles per hour. For Saturday, we're looking at a 40% chance at afternoon showers, partly cloudy, 92 for a high with southeast winds at around 5 miles per hour. Saturday night, our chance of rain jumps up to 80%. Overnight low 66 degrees expected under cloudy skies. Sunday, a 60% chance at afternoon showers, mostly cloudy, and 83. Sunday night, a 70% chance at showers, mostly cloudy, and 64 for an overnight low. Labor Day Monday, a 50% chance at afternoon showers, partly cloudy, 83 for a high, and then a 40% Monday night, and then 20% when you head back to work and school on Tuesday of next week. All right, it is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take about 3.5 minute break. And then we're going to play our interview with Matt Bristol from Bristol Law. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hey Roswell, clear your calendars because massive Labor Day savings starts right now at Roswell Ford. This week, we're slashing prices on a huge inventory of new Fords and quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. New Fords available with 0% APR and no payments for 90 days. Plus, if you're making payments on your current vehicle and want out early, Roswell Ford will do whatever it takes to help you escape from your trade. Even if you owe thousands more than it's worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders who will push to approve your credit with great terms, with good credit, no credit, or even if your credit is less than perfect. All roads lead to huge American-made savings, more for your trade, and a better buying experience during Roswell Ford's biggest Labor Day clearance event ever. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand financed. Interest accrues from date of sale. Subject to lender approval. For select vehicles, offers not combined.
Are you tired of chasing symptoms without finding real answers? Do you feel your health is a mystery that no one can solve?
At Roswell Medical Clinic, we specialize in functional medicine, a revolutionary approach that uncovers the root causes of chronic conditions like autoimmune disease, thyroid issues, digestive disorders, hormonal imbalances, and chronic fatigue. Our expert team creates personalized treatment plans tailored to you, combining the latest scientific research with lifestyle changes, nutritional guidance, and stress management to restore your health and vitality. Take the first step toward lasting wellness. Visit 111 West Hobbs or call 575-317-3311 to schedule your consultation today at Roswell Medical Clinic.
Attention homeowners! Fulkerson Plumbing has an August special that's too important to miss. This month only, take advantage of their whole home plumbing inspection and water heater flush. Now only $149 for homes up to 2 bathrooms and $249 for 3 or more bathrooms. They'll check all the plumbing fixtures for leaks, damage, and corrosion. Plus, offer special repair discounts. Right Fit members save up to 20% while non-members still save 10%. Don't let hard water cause major issues for the plumbing in your home. Protect your investment. Call Fulkerson Plumbing today, 575-221-9772.
Roswell, your used car dealership is here. Tate Branch Roswell. Come experience the Tate Branch difference. We've got a huge selection of quality used cars, trucks, and SUVs, all at great prices with big discounts happening right now. And here's the best part. Every single used vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty at no extra cost. It's all backed by friendly hometown customer service that puts you first every time. So don't wait. Head to Tate Branch Roswell, 2000 West 2nd Street, and drive home happy today. Tate Branch Roswell. Come experience the difference.
Summertime is the right time to move on into the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop. The Cow is an authorized handy quilter long-arm dealer. They make their own quilts, shirts, and rope bowls right at the Cow. Come in and check out all the summer fabrics plus stellar fabrics for our interstellar travelers. The Cow has brother sewing machines with warranties on sale now, and they can fix and perform maintenance on all brands. So log on to RoswellQuilting.com to order. The Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop, 200 East College in Roswell. Want to know how? Come see the Cow.
Pecos Valley Broadcasting has immediate entry and experience level and radio and live stream video sales executive positions open in Artesia and Carlsbad. You'll work with our amazing team to build and maintain accounts and dive into advertising and marketing promotions. Experience in sales is preferred and bilingual opportunities are available. Base guarantee plus bonuses and commissions. Apply now. Email your details or resume to hireme@pvbcradio.com. Take your career to the next level with Pecos Valley Broadcasting, an equal opportunity employer.
You can't hunt camels in Arizona, but you can buy them. They go for about $10 a pack. Here's Mike Winters.
Us in studio this morning for his monthly visit to always give us good advice. Matt Bristol with Bristol Law Office back. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Mike, and happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, 24 years.
That's awesome.
Going and kicking along here.
So. That is really great that Kim's been able to put up with you that long.
It's not no one else on earth has done it before. She wins an award.
That's right. And for our listeners, the 11th of this month, a few days ago, was Sean Small's birthday.
Sean was Sean celebrated. That's when he went to Hobbs this weekend. He was going to go see some concerts, and that was kind of his birthday.
His birthday gift.
Although it didn't sound like it went according to plan. So.
Well, it could have been worse. Could have been something worse.
Could have been, yeah. There's a lot of things that could have been worse.
Could have been worse.
Very good. But how's your world going?
Good. Took the female scouts and 2 male scouts on a 5-mile map and compass hike this weekend.
Orienteering
for a second class rank.
Good deal.
And so the scouts did really good. Really good.
Second class is they're still relatively new to the scouting program.
Right.
That's second class is like in the first couple ranks in the scout. Usually first year, second year scouts are in that category.
Yeah, you have tenderfoot and then second class.
Second class,
so
and then you get
newbies.
First class.
Yeah.
Star Life, and then the Big Eagle there. But yeah.
So
these are younger scouts that are still making their way in the scouting program.
Oh yeah. These are 13, 14.
Basics, orienteering, camping, things like how to work with their knives and axes, and how to build fires, and how to survive in the outdoors. So and not get lost. That's what they're working on this weekend.
That's what they're working on this weekend, and it's. So when you and I were kids, we started fires all the time. We were pyros, but kids today, they spend so much time indoors.
And it's they're limited on that because, like a lot of campgrounds, and especially in our part of the country, they don't allow open flames and things because of environment and
not always. Yeah.
Yeah. So the opportunity isn't always even there. Where when we were kids, it was pretty much if you're at a campsite, be responsible. But yeah, there are campfires allowed everywhere. So.
Yeah. So that's part of it is working with the kids on how to build the fire, which takes the most time, and if you do it properly, then starting that's pretty easy after that.
And it's way different than I don't know if y'all see those commercials for it's one of the insurance and where quit acting like your parents kind of deal. Those commercials series where there's one where there's the one dad building his fire on his grill or whatever, and like six others are you're like
huge logs.
Yeah, or analyzing how he's doing it all. Like, no, there's not that. We're way better at doing it in scouting.
For sure.
Matter of fact, we'll tell you the different types and when to use the different types and when not to. Why the teepee fire is more beneficial than the log cabin and when to do it versus the other and all that. So.
Well, yeah. Got to teach them different fires to cook different things.
Yeah, exactly. What's your purpose? What's your weather conditions like? All of that matters in that stuff.
Yeah, so listeners, get your kids involved in scouting so they can learn that kind of stuff.
And for the love of God, if you live in New Mexico, please, so they learn orienteering. Because you never know in this state, if you're driving around and next thing you know, you might be in a spot where you get lost. We don't live in a city. We live in a very rural country. There are parts of this state that you could literally get lost and not be heard from for days. And and so things like how to navigate, how to orient, mapping, compass, obviously emergency preparedness, these things for folks that live here, those are just, part of your day of life. That's not just should be something, like I'm going to carry that. No, around here you should.
Yeah, especially when it's 100 degrees. It's winter, and then summer, and then winter gets really cold sometimes.
Absolutely. You could be just making a day trip to Albuquerque and something happens. Next, someone doesn't get a hold of you for an hour or a day or so. It's possible.
Yep.
And so you got to be prepared for that stuff. And scouting teaches all of that stuff. So
that's right. Always got to have plan B.
So when you don't know how to do it, put your kids in scouting, and then they can learn and teach you.
Well, as a matter of fact, I did that to the scouts. We were hiking West Mescalero, west of Montana.
Okay.
The pecan orchards, and there's that subdivision. And they were supposed to hike another half mile to an Aspen Street. But I stopped them a half mile short. And I said, okay, here's where we are on the map. Our designated route is to continue west on Mescalero, except last night there was a rain, roads flooded out. What do you do? Figured out. And they did.
Nice.
So threw a little wrench in there, and the kids handled it well.
We're able to reorient.
Yep. And we go this way and take a different street and turn that. Yeah, absolutely right, kids. So they did a good job.
And then if you really know how to read the map, you can tell and tell you on there, like, okay, well, this way is actually going to be a little easier because it's less strenuous of terrain and everything else or whatever. That's, if you know how to read a map, it'll tell you all that stuff.
Yeah, we had 10 waypoints of compass direction and distance, compass direction and distance. So we had 10 waypoints. Ended up in the old airport. That's where we ended up. And then I said, okay, on the map we're here, and the 11th waypoint or the ending point is here on the map. You tell me the compass bearing and distance.
Nice.
Yeah. So now they had to think about it.
Sure.
So they got a little off course at first, and so then it was like, what do we do now? And I said, well, this is how you fix that, and so we ended up at the right spot, and the kids did a good job.
That's awesome. It does. I remember those days when I was doing it. We were supposed to end up here, or we were it's like we weren't even in the same part of the park. Because I remember we did like some of that in parks down in because I lived in D.C. area, it wasn't. And so we were in some of those parks. And I remember same thing. They'd set up courses for us, and the first couple times I was like, I don't think we're going the right way.
It takes practice.
It does. But once you do it, it really and you never know. It could save your life one day if you even if you don't do this on a regular basis, go camping or hiking, exploring. It could be that one time where, day trip, whatever doesn't go according to plan, and you might need this stuff to save yourself or your family's life or get them to a place where someone can help them. And that's
exactly
all
right.
about that. That's what scouting's about. Be prepared. So,
And it's just good life skills, especially for folks that live in this part of the country. It just is.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I know we're probably not talking about what you want to talk about today, but
well,
it was still important. Mm-hmm. That's always very good sage advice is always there.
Well, I was thinking about, there's a lot of second marriages out there.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, we're a community property state, so our community property laws impact second marriages and how those things work.
Sure.
And sometimes, it can be a little tricky. And I know when someone finally finishes the divorce, they get through it, they just kind of want to put it all behind them and go on with their lives.
Mm-hmm.
But they really need to go ahead and change the beneficiaries on their life insurance, their 401k. You get a new will kind of done. So here's an interesting thing. So we had a state law, or there was a state law, that says if Mike gets divorced,
mm-hmm.
But he still has Kim as beneficiary on his 401k, that doesn't work because you got divorced. And he probably didn't really mean to leave her on the 401.
Right.
Which kind of makes sense, right?
Sure.
So somebody challenged that. And they said, well, wait a minute. There's this ERISA Act, a federal law from 1972 about Employment Retirement Income Security Act. And since the feds have spoken on the subject, then federal law preempts state law on that issue. And so under federal law, if you have left your ex-wife on the 401, she still gets it.
She's entitled.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to do that, fine. But if you don't want to do that, it's time to change.
So the moral lesson here is, if make sure your 401k is still set up to go to who you want it to go to.
Absolutely.
Especially if you are in a second or, God forbid, third marriage or so forth.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Or you get into Elizabeth Taylor territory.
Yeah. Ooh, let's talk about the Black Widow.
Talk about confusing will.
So let's see. So let's say husband owns a house pre-marriage, gets married second time, does not add wife to the house. A few years later, husband dies, no will. Leaves some adult children. So the house is a sole and separate property owned at pre-marriage. But who gets the house?
Well, I guess it probably depends on the state.
Well, New Mexico.
Okay, because it's funny you mentioned this.
Oh, yes. Continue.
In Texas, I saw a very similar situation where a woman remarried the man. The man, they lived in his property, which was his name, under his name on the lake there and all that. He died. And in the will, the house and the property went to the kids. She still lived there. She left. She had to leave, and she didn't. The kids took the property. She was out of luck. So I'm going to say.
Well, in that case, he had a will.
Yeah, I think to my knowledge, yes.
Yeah. What if our guy dies with no will?
With no will? Well, then I think she has rights at that, or the spouse has rights at that point. So.
Well, in New Mexico, when you die without a will, you're intestate, not testate. You don't have a last will and testament.
Yeah.
But the sole and separate property gets divided 1/4 to the surviving spouse and 3/4 to the children.
Okay, so she gets a quarter, basically.
So she gets a quarter.
All right.
And if the husband, intended that, that's fine. But now the adult children have to buy out the second wife, the stepmom. And they may have a good relationship. They may not.
Sure.
But is that what dad wanted? Hard to know.
So if you don't want that, get a will. And make sure it's up to date.
Make sure, yes. Because if you don't have a plan, guess what? The state has a plan for you.
Yeah, and it may not be what you want it to be.
May not be.
Yeah. And the people you intended to protect may not get the protections you're hoping that they were getting. So.
That's right.
Yep.
So let's say husband owns house pre-marriage. Marries second wife.
Okay.
Adds second wife to the deed. And then a few years later, husband and wife file for divorce. What happens to the house?
He put her name on the deed. Therefore, she is part owner of that house. Therefore, she's fully entitled to the rights, I would think.
Well, it's funny you should say that because in New Mexico, it depends.
Okay.
So it depends on husband's testimony. So at the time, what was your intent, husband? And, 99% of the time it's, well, estate planning. If I died, I wanted my surviving spouse to get the house.
Right.
But it was not my intent to give away the house. Rather, the intent was estate planning, not a gift. And so a spouse can testify to that effect and keep the house. And they've had cases where 40 years later, husband and wife file for divorce.
Wow.
40 years ago, wife put husband on the investment accounts, and now when they're 60s, they're getting divorced, and she says, "No, I never meant to give it to him. It was just estate planning." And the court says, "Oh, well, if that's the case, wife, you get to keep your sole and separate property."
That's a stinging blow.
Yeah, so
I would hope
it depends.
After that long of marriage, they'd be a little more amicable and help each other out a bit, but I guess legally they don't have to, huh?
Yeah. So, So if in a second marriage situation, if, husband owns the house, if he wants the wife to get it, then he can do what's called a transfer on death deed. So it transfers on his death to second wife.
Gotcha.
But if she's not around, then it can go to his kids. So sometimes he can say, I give a life estate in the house to second wife, remainder to the kids. So second wife can stay in the house, and he can stipulate as long as she's, doesn't remarry, doesn't cohabitate, and is not gone for more than 90 days at a time. And if on 91 days, reverts to the kids. So he can provide for the second spouse a place to live.
Okay.
But ultimately, the house goes to the children.
Gotcha. She can hold the fort down until such time as the kids, that she doesn't need anymore, basically.
Yeah, so she's got a place to stay as long as she wants.
Gotcha.
But if she goes in a nursing home, then it goes down to the kids.
Makes sense. Interesting.
Yeah.
But, again, talk to the lawyers about this stuff, because if you don't do it right, that's pretty crazy. So they could end up by even after years of being together, and you know what I mean. That would be amazing. That would blow me away to hear a story like that of 40 years of marriage and they divorce, and one is pretty just because of that. That's crazy. But anyway.
Well, it's kind of wild if you think about it. But then if you think about it some more, it's it makes sense.
Sure.
The reason is you put the spouse on was in the event you die as a married couple, it was estate planning.
I guess I'm just thinking from the emotional perspective, like, how could someone be together 40 years and still have that much hate? Like, you know what I mean? I figure if you're like that animosity, why did you? But anyway, that's not a legal question. That's a philosophical.
Well, it may not be hate, just maybe a money issue.
Yeah, I don't know. I could not imagine being that mad at someone that I've been with for 40 years that I do that. Even at the end of the day, I'm like, look, I'm not going to, I don't know. It's just, that's another debate. It's not a legal thing. It's just in my head, I'm like,
it's just stuff.
It's like a whole life of just wrongness right there.
Well, I think, when people marry young and they're 20 years old, they really don't know who they are on the inside.
And unfortunately, people,
and they do grow apart.
Yeah. But I also think people, sometimes one part of the relationship will get dependent on the other, and they feel a need to stay not out of love, but out of comfort or accustomed to the lifestyle they're in. You know what I mean? Like they're afraid to be on their own kind of thing. And so, but that's, I don't know. But anyway, I'm getting off track. I'm just trying to wrap my head around 40 years of marriage and then doing something. But anyway.
Okay. So, second marriage, Husband gets a Social Security check that goes into his own little savings account.
Okay.
So it's not part of the joint checking. It's his separate savings. And he puts payable on death on the savings account, POD, to his adult child of the first marriage. Husband dies.
Mm-hmm.
So now wife says, well, yeah, it's the savings account is POD to the child of the first marriage, but isn't that community property? I mean, don't I get my half? He can't give away my half of the community property, can he?
Well,
so what's the answer?
I'm trying to see how that works because it's Social Security checks.
It's the key.
And so upon death, usually a spouse can claim the spouse's Social Security checks, right? Like to continue to get them, don't they?
Yeah, but that's a non-issue.
Okay. I feel like there is a caveat where she has a loophole in there on some of that because of Social Security here.
Social Security is considered sole and separate property.
Okay. So there it is. She's out.
She's out.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know, not sure why that's considered sole and separate, but in a 40-year marriage, your income, her Social Security is her sole and separate, and his Social Security is his sole and separate.
Yeah, I got to think about that, why it is, because I was thinking because it's based on what income you put in, but if you're filing jointly, isn't that technically joint income you're filing on those numbers? So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's above my brain.
That's just a little quirk. That's just a little quirk.
Yeah.
But the wife is correct, is that the husband cannot give away her half of the community estate. It's just that in this particular case, it was Social Security.
That's not community. That's a personal or savings.
Yeah. So the husband in his will could leave his half of the community stuff to kids from prior marriage, but he can't give away wife's half of the community property.
Gotcha.
Because he doesn't own it. She does.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Point of all this, get it right the first time.
Get it right the first time. And learn to say, I'm sorry and I love you.
Yes. Don't get married unless you're ready for the long haul.
That's it. That's it. So something I found is if there's an argument you're having with your spouse, disagreement, and if your goal is to win the argument, then you just sacrifice the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You just put the argument ahead of the relationship.
Yeah.
And that ain't going to last long.
Put it this way. There's a lot of people that are alone that are right. They're sitting on that hill all by themselves. You're right, but you ain't got no friends. You ain't got no one around you.
That's right. Yeah.
You can sit up there in your rightness.
You can be as lonely as you want, but boy, gosh, you're right.
Yeah, it's a hard lesson to swallow, especially when, but it is nonetheless. And that's marriage in a nutshell. It's
it's friendships as well.
Absolutely. It's give and take. It's no different than a business or a band, Yeah. I mean, a lot of businesses end the same way.
That's right.
Yeah.
They forget the customers always, right?
And this is why we always talk about those LLCs and partnerships and why it's important to delineate what it is and live by the rules that you're supposed to live by when it comes to that stuff. Because if it doesn't,
indeed,
it's the one thing that protects you when things go south.
Yep.
And if you don't do it right, then it's not protecting you. Same thing with marriage here. With the wills and all that. If you don't do it right, you're not getting the protections you think you are, and it's, talking about intent, what you think you're doing and what you're doing, you can't, that's why when it comes to wills and that type of stuff, it is a good idea to sit down and talk with a lawyer so you can do exactly what, and so when you're done with that will, you have a clear, concise understanding of what's going to happen.
Exactly.
If you drop dead tomorrow and where your stuff's going.
Exactly. I can't tell you how many people come to the office and said, well, my friend said, or I heard, and well, I thought, and it's like, no.
Yeah. And the problem is the advice you got from someone may be right where they live, but if they don't live where you live, it may, you know what I mean? And that's just it. What they do in Texas is not the same as what they do in New Mexico, or what they do in Oklahoma is not the same as they do here. And so what applies there in New Mexico is, weirdly enough, we're the exception to the rule in a lot of weird things. You just be like, oh, yeah, well, everyone does it this way, except New Mexico. They do it this way. And so just saying, you got to pay attention to that.
We're one of 8 community property states, and so everybody else does it a little differently. But, if you already have an attorney, great. Make an appointment. Go talk to them about wills, or if it's going to be your second marriage, what about a prenup?
Yeah.
Make sure everybody's taken care of.
Have a plan and talk about it. I get it. But I've just found that when you look for healthcare advice or legal advice on an app, you're not getting the best advice always. Just my own personal history and stuff. So if you're trying to do your taxes or your wills through some little app, you get what you pay for. That's all I'm just telling you on that stuff. And if you're trying to provide something that important and that big a deal that you want to insure, maybe you want to have someone that really knows what they're doing as opposed to an app taking a look at what you got going.
Yeah, had somebody come in. They got a will online, and filled it out and downloaded it and wanted me to look over it. And I said, I'll look it over. I mean, I'm not a snob.
Sure.
And so I said, do you realize nowhere in here does it say, I, Mike Winters, hereby make this will?
Mm-hmm.
That language didn't appear anywhere.
And so right out the gate, you're kind of like,
so what is this?
Yeah.
So little things like that, it's so get some good advice. And I'm not the only good attorney in town. There's a lot of good attorneys in town. So if you've got a good attorney, go talk to him about this stuff.
This is certain things you should let professional handle, and especially when you have these kind of moments in life. There's one things that all of us need to do to prepare for whatever's next at some point. Those are not the things you just want to trust with something haphazardly. Talk to someone you trust. Because unfortunately, there's too many quote unquote experts out there that will steer you wrong if you don't. And they're not doing it with the intent to hurt you. They just don't know any better either.
Yeah. Just ask. Next time your neighbor says, "Oh, blah blah blah," just ask them where they went to law school.
Exactly.
Because it may not be that way.
Yeah, and so that's why if you call somebody, call Matt, and I'll tell you right now, Matt will be happy to sit down, talk with you, and sit down, and he'll be happy to tell you, this is going to be a little more involved, and we need to talk about it, or he'll be like, just fill this form out, go to the clerk's office, and you're done. Either way, he's going to give you the straight scoop on that.
Yeah, we will. I'm a firm believer. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
He's not going to create work just to get paid, kind of thing. Yep. Which he's not going to Better Call Saul you.
There you go.
Sorry, I just got done watching that thing. It's been still fresh in my brain. But please reach out to Matt in Bristol Law Office, and if you got anything family law, or if you need to set up a free business, a partnership, or LLC, if you got to deal with setting up family planning like your wills, or God forbid dealing with the bad sides, the divorces and all that, talk to Matt and let him steer you right.
Even if you're newlyweds and you don't think you have any money to worry about making a will about, once you have kids, you need a will, because just like that TV commercial is, it's not good enough if it's not in writing, if it's not in the will.
Once kids enter the equation, your will thing went from it's a good idea to you better get it.
Better get one, yeah.
Because the moment they're born, there's a lot bigger pictures than just you and the spouse there at that point.
Yep. So BristolLawOffice.net or 625-5284.
We do got about 3-4 minutes if we want to do a little fact.
So this, I just love, where do words come from kind of stuff. And so one interesting word is, so Mike early one morning decides to go out back with his cup of coffee and enjoy the morning air.
Okay.
And there's this thing in the yard. Just fell from the sky or something.
Oh, it was like, did the dog leave it or?
Something fell from the sky. We don't know what it is. There's this object.
Okay.
And so it's like, holy moly, what is this thing? And And so our instinct is to kind of walk around it and look at it to see if we can figure out what this thing is, right?
Sure. Yeah. Investigate a little bit.
Investigate, look at it from different angles, go all the way around it, maybe back the other way to see what you're looking at. So, so someone who walks on their feet is called
Who walks on their feet?
Someone walking up and down the street is a pedestrian.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Gotcha.
All right. So ped means foot.
All right.
So it's just like a podiatrist, except the vowel's a little different. But
Sure.
A pedestrian is someone who's walking on their feet. And if you walk around it and circle it, another word for circle is cycle, like bicycle, tricycle. Okay. It's got 3 round things on it. So if you encircle it on your feet, you encyclopedia. Because you're on your feet and you're circling it. That's where the word encyclopedia comes from. Is you're walking around something trying to figure out what the heck is this thing.
Yeah, okay.
And that's where who came up with that
So it's
stuff?
a bit of volumes of circle around trying to learn these things.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
I just thought that's a fascinating word.
Kids, encyclopedias were these things when we were kids. This is where we learned everything before the internet. Before we had the phone and a computer, we went to either, depending if you had a salesman knock on your door, they would come and sell you these books. But if not, you had to go to the library and check them out.
So instead of the website Wikipedia, we had actual physical books, and we could look this stuff up.
And then, but the library had all the different ones. So if you wanted World Book, or if you wanted, let me try to remember. There was about 6 or 8 different ones that were, pretty much universally known.
Yeah, and then there's that
Britannica.
Oh, that was awesome. Awful. Britannica was just awful.
Yeah. World Book Encyclopedia.
We even had children's encyclopedias.
Yeah.
I used to read those for fun.
Oh yeah, I would. I did so many projects, so many maps I had recreated out of encyclopedia for. See, here is the. This is the. I remember we were doing states or something, and I remember, we each got picked states, and I did a map of like all of the resources and products. This is the resources that this state has. It's corn. I remember having to draw these maps, and they're basically the ones you pulled out of the encyclopedia. And they got a little cow here, so this part of the state is dairy.
Well, cool.
But very good. That's cool. I never put those two together. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, I always thought that was interesting.
Now I want to start a private detective agency and call it some kind of encyclopedia or something, or Gumshoe Encyclopedia or something. I don't know. Good deal. Of course, BristolLawOffice.net is the resource you can go and set up a consultation with Matt. Like I said, he'll sit down and talk to you and tell you if you need to spend money or if this is just a simple thing. But before, and please don't, when it comes to estate planning, family planning, these big, maybe talk to a real person as opposed to
your neighbor, or your drinking buddy, or the guy who drives the garbage
this
truck.
hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason.
Well, we're learning AI does some things very poorly. It creates hallucinations.
Yes.
Be careful using it.
Everything is.
Australian Prime Minister
It'll get
Anthony
better.
Albanese
It's just not there yet. You know what I mean? Like we're seeing the infancy of these things. It's kind of like I'm willing to guess.
At a news conference Sunday,
First cars,
Israeli
those
Prime
weren't
Minister
humdingers
Benjamin
either. The first couple
Netanyahu
that came out,
defended a military
that
expansion in
contraption, I'm not
Gaza,
gonna
saying Israel has no choice
You know what
but
I
to finish the job.
We had
and
the state
complete
bar a
defeat of
week or so
Hamas.
ago and took 2 classes on AI stuff.
Our goal is to free
And
Gaza.
so the limited purposes of AI can be extremely useful.
Yeah.
But once you start going outside that and expect it to actually have intelligence, it does not.
Yeah. But it'll get better. So. Thank you, Matt. As always, we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Mike. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Pay a fee to have the charges reversed. In at least one case, one bank customer was instructed to place money into a Bitcoin machine. Pioneer Bank never requests any customers place any funds into Bitcoin machines. In some cases, the fraudsters have coached bank customers in lying to tellers about why they're getting the funds from their bank account. Pioneer Bank is ready to help the customer avoid being scammed, but the customer must be honest, and they need not be embarrassed when a teller questions the reason for a large withdrawal. If watching airplanes race each other isn't exciting enough for you, well, try jumping out of one. As part of the fun during the National Championship air races, you can skydive at the Artesia Airport. Slots for skydiving are available September 9th through 14th. Openings are available each day between 6 a.m. and 5 p.m. Just register at Skydive New Mexico's website. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Unity is the central theme throughout the Bible. It reflects God's desire for harmony among His people. From the beginning, humanity was created for relationship with God and with one another. Sin fractured that unity, but God's redemptive plan through Jesus restores it. In the New Testament, unity is especially emphasized with the church. Jesus prayed for His followers to be one, just as He and the Father are. This unity serves as a testimony to the world of God's love and His truth. The Apostle Paul, particularly in passages like Ephesians 4, teaches that believers must strive to maintain unity through humility, patience, love, and the guidance of the Holy Spirit. Unity is not uniformity, but harmony of diverse gifts, backgrounds, and callings, all working together for God's glory. Biblical unity reflects God's nature, relational, loving, and holy. It's a sign of spiritual maturity and a witness to a divided world of the power of the gospel.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
On air and online, this is Roswell's home for talk radio, KEND Roswell.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm John Scott. The Catholic community in Minneapolis mourns the deaths of two students in yesterday's horrific church shooting.
Hundreds gathered to honor the children shot in a Minneapolis Catholic church. Minneapolis Archbishop Bernard Hebda said there was courage, bravery, and love in the midst of the shootings that killed two children and wounded 17 people. Speaking at a packed Wednesday night vigil,
how is it that such a terrible tragedy